It is time for the grand final showdown, a best of 7 between Team Canada and Free DEDA, and we are about ready to get into the draft. Welcome back, boys. Hopefully you're feeling refreshed. Hopefully you got enough time to celebrate. Big plans for EGC in 2025. What event are you looking forward to the most, Crackety?
I'm really excited for just the next Winter Series, but most importantly, like we're getting a big return, right?
Yeah.
A big name coming in again with with the classic series coming back to us. That's what I'm looking forward to the most.
I mean, it's the best received Dabston. I don't know if we're gonna get a Golden League 3. I wouldn't mind that, but I think it's been proven that sometimes people just like the most pure essence of AoE 4, and Elite Classic was definitely delivering that.
Yeah, if you would have asked me, it would immediately been Elite Classic. There's a reason why Classic's in the name. It is a legit classic. Great tournament, always lives up to the expectations, and I'm sure the third one coming around is gonna do the exact same thing.
Now, speaking of classics that we like to put our own spin on, how are you feeling about Archipelago now that we've seen a little bit of Crackety? Like we have our normal archipelagos in the game. Now we have EGC Archipelago. I know there was maybe a little bit of concern at first for players because they hadn't experienced it. Now that we've seen it, what do you think? Is this a better version of Archipelago 1.0?
Definitely. I think it's way less random, much more predictable in the way it spawns. And it's just got a really nice twist on it. One wood line in your base, then you have to move out. Players are going to have to move out. You get some interesting potential plays there with trying to move out first onto the other islands. Get like island control advantage, something like that. And overall, it's just the best version, I think, of Archipelago that we're probably ever going to see at the moment.
I agree, and I love the way it changes as well, right? Because when you play some 1v1s, you start in the corners, so it's very different dynamic. And Davston, I don't know about you, but I absolutely love the water stealth, and I love the fact that they're consistently slathered around the map.
Yeah, it's one of the things the viewers probably don't get the like full benefit of it. But like if you're playing the game, there's so many times where a demo all of a sudden pops out of the stealth water, and it's just like the stealth forest where you just get surprised so much, or a full army could be sitting in the stealth water over in the corner. And so it's one that, as these maps continue to develop, I'm sure we'll continue to see maybe, new maps use that even further and have some complete differences. Speaking of new maps, I think this is the first time we've seen Logger today.
I believe so. I'm not sure what his pick rate is overall. It feels like it's been. I don't want to say it's picked more than Archipelago, Crackety. I feel like that's probably the lowest picked map, but Clouga definitely hasn't been in like the top 5.
Yeah, it's a very interesting map overall, just because of the dynamic. You've got water that's like just completely shoreline, so you can like walk on over it. Um, it has an interesting dynamic to it. I just think a lot of the players just aren't too familiar with that. So when you're not familiar with a map, you got two options: either you practice it a lot, or you ban it.
Nice, fair. And one you won't see here is Atoll. Like I'm checking the stats now, right? And Atoll is the most banned map. Second most banned is Pigeons Valley. Shame on you lads. And then of course it's Archipelago, and then finally Calaga. So those are your most banned maps. They're the ones that are seen less frequently. Anything about that surprise you, Dabston?
Honestly, I'm surprised to see the order because if the order that you said is correct, I would have expected Archipelago and Logger to be the first two in the most banned maps instead of being kind of third and fourth coming in the rear.
Yeah, I'm a little bit bummed out about Atoll. I mean, it was a map that was recently made. For those that are not familiar with Atoll, the Reddit thread that got a weird spawn of Socotra, that got turned into a map. Then it got ran in some plebs 1v1 tournament for the week. Marine Lord molded about it. A few other people had mixed opinions. Then it actually got changed. So the version that really got played a lot was different. You'll remember it, Crackety. It was very honestly, it was like seeing what supermodel Slimfast looks like, and then now the version of Atoll is like what realistic sizing looks like for people.
It's definitely a different version. Atoll is funny in some ways, I want to say, but it's such a weird dynamic. I can compare it to Haywire. I think comparing it to Haywire is probably the best way.
Okay.
So a lot of people say Haywire is the worst map ever, or one of the worst maps ever, next to Mountain Clearing. it's
Yeah.
just a different type of like approach that you got to take. Like there are still like different metas, different approaches that you can take. Like you can go for the all in, go around the side because the wood line is always outside of the TC range in the back. So if you're able to like loop around the back, you still have potential to get damage in. Some civs get like really great landmarks, but overall, I think there's still always a way to play around that. Like if you're playing up against China, just randomly drop a bunch of palisade walls to deny any Barbican placements.
I mean, well, the big problem with that map is Ruse on Mountain Clear, not Mountain Clear, on Haywire rather. I can't. That map haunts my nightmares because of that particular civ. It's tricky though, you know. It's not easy to make maps unique, but I mean, I've got to give a particular shout out to Caillou actually, because I believe 3 of the maps here are his. I can't. Or was Avali Baldland? I think Avali might have been Baldland, right? No, it was Caillou.
Yeah, that
So
sounds right.
3 of the 7 maps we're seeing here made by one map creator. That guy's phenomenal. He grinds non-stop. Guys, learn to appreciate the few map creators we have left because they're very talented. I think Avali, Caillou are probably the most standout ones, but there are other people on the side that have been working hard. There's a guy coughing in my ear right now that I won't talk of. I mean, his map isn't good enough to even make it into a grand finals, right, Dabston?
He loves trying to push it though. He will try to push it in anything he possibly can. He'll continue to mention it. He'll continue to try to get it in anything, but every single time the feedback is just it's not quite there. It's just not quite there. It's not quite there. It's not ready yet.
Oh god, that just sounds like the person that doesn't want to have a confrontation with all the like. Yeah, but it's just not your year. Next year though, you'll be there. But no, in terms of things we have got here, I remember Himeyama has been slightly altered as well. Honestly, I think this version of Himeyama Crackety, I don't want to say it's fully there, right? As much praise as I give Kai, because he actually laid the adaptive version that you see Himeyama. I like the idea though, which is that they wanted to change the map so that it doesn't block you with tree lines from placing your docks, right? However, definitely in 1v1s, the outcome has been the pond is so tiny, it's comical to watch people fight over it.
I mean, it's not just about getting the resources, I feel like, with the
Mhm.
middle pond. It's also about just getting a lot of vision with your dog and just having that little bit of map presence or rather presence there overall. Having a single archership there means that your opponent can't really march infantry the direct line over to your base. Whenever they march infantry over there, they're going to take a lot of damage from that archership. I feel like Himeyama, in many ways, is just fine the way it is.
Mhm.
It's a very open map. Is this mostly like for 2v2 or 1v1s as well?
So the 1v1 version of EGC Himeyama makes it very tiny to make sure you don't have that dock placement issue. 2v2s didn't really have it as much, so it was more for a 1v1 overhaul. But you know what? We spent a lot of time talking about the maps. We really need to hype up the players because Free DEDA have exceeded expectations. And I'm going to make the American eat the sock here and not be able to talk about the Canadians. He has to big up Free DEDA for me. Dabson, talk to me a little bit about this team because I think going into this weekend, no offense against the players, I don't think many people had these boys coined to make the grand finals.
I mean, it's one that they've played together for a while, so like that's the only like one positive thing you can say. But B, we'll pick on B. He's playing every single RTS out there. I feel like I think he popped up in like a Stormgate tournament, even though people I don't know that game's still being played. And it's just like you don't see him playing a ton of 1v1 tourneys and grinding AoE4 all the time. He's balancing out a ton, and at the end he is more on on the grind. Cat, he's not one of the the top 5 top on the ladders out there, so they've really been able to just come together, play correctly, have some really cool strategies as well, as we've seen a few today that we were appalled at seeing. So that's really one of the things, that it's the different game style as well.
What do you think, Crackety? Have they proved enough compared to the Canadians? I mean, the Canadians, we keep going on about defensive guys, but they seem to have found a way of leaning into that aggression here in the 2v2s.
Yeah, the Canadians, they're like different styles. They adapt to many possible game situations. Like the communication between them is just top notch, you want to say. Like whenever we see battles going on, you can always tell, okay, the brothers, they're in sync. Not just Lucifron and Vortex, but the same goes for Wham and Puppy Paw. Whenever something's going on, you can tell, like, whenever units start to move, they all move at the same time. I think it's about time for us to jump into our game number 1 of our grand finals here.
That's right. Winner takes all. Remember, folks, there's no forgiving anymore. $22,500 on the line. Who wants the lion's share of that piece? Is it going to be Free DEDA or Canada? We kick off on the purest of all, Dry Arabia, to see who can take the lead in this best of 7.
And here we go. Game number 1 of the grand finals begins. Anatan and B spawning in the northeastern side. Mongol and Ottomans in the color red and orange. And on the other side, have the Canadian brothers Puppy Paw and Wham playing as JD and Zhu Shi in the color blue and teal.
That's an interesting opening here from Wham. He's got 2 villagers on wood, so I'm guessing that this might just be a barracks opening here from him potentially. So we'll be probably seeing a lot of Dark Age Spearmen coming out from the Zhu Shi. And there we go, barracks is getting put up. So we'll have an answer to the Spearman coming up from Anatan, I want to say, but I can already see Spearman in production from B. Is that the military school? It is the military school.
The question is, now he's already on over to gold. I was about to say, there's sometimes where you'll see the military school and the spear opening just to double up, but now that's just going to help support Anatan's early opening. Just have one extra little number that's going to make it that much harder for Wham to match.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's like one of the main strengths of Zhu Shi. They're always able to match the amount that the Mongols can put out when it comes to the spearman production. But getting an additional 1 or 2 spearmen in from B, that can suddenly like turn the tide there a good bit. So we'll have to see as well if B is actually wanting to go for that. We can already see that he knows where his secondary deer spot is. So maybe he just wants to lure the deer as well. That could also happen.
Yeah. I mean, it is funny us saying that it's like, it's crazy how much one spear can do, but it is crazy how much one spear can do, especially when it comes to these Dark Age Spearman battles, where all of a sudden, you know, 1 gets ticked down, 2 gets ticked down, and then gold gets fully denied, and it's just that quick snowball of a game. Right off the bat, we're going to see a little bit of idle time. Actually, shivs get pulled out, get a little bit of good damage in early.
Yeah, and already enough spearmen here in order to deter the army. Anton falling back now for the time being. He has invested a good bit of resource into the spears here so far.
Ooh, and Wham's choosing to take the fight. Little does he know, B is on the way with an extra spear as well. So numbers about to be favoring side of 3D, but still not yet. Reinforcements just take so long to run that far across the map.
Micro comes out from both players here. And just Wham with Zhu Shi Legacy Supervised Spear. He's gonna be like very far behind his own age up. But I feel like so far this has been worth it. And Wham looks like he's also been just trying to maximize the tax here a lot. So he hasn't even been out to gold, but already is getting relatively close with the gold when it comes to being able to age up.
Yeah, and that's where he's going to not only have the tax gold from the mill, he's also going to have the barracks and this lumber camp now that he's building.
There's a little bit of a mistake going on for him, though. He's housed.
Oh,
he doesn't have... Wait, never mind. Wait. Oh, no, we were on the view of a different player. For a second, it looked like he was housed and didn't have enough wood for another house there.
One of the spears gets picked off. This is where we're going to start seeing that snowball a little bit. That being said, Puppy Paw has aged up. Knight is in queue, so just needs time for that Knight to come out. But more and more spears just keep on arriving, and JD is here as well. Wants to soak up some of that XP.
And now she's just going to be standing there on gold, and if anything happens, you know, it's going to happen, and it's going to be good for her. Meditation Garden now coming in for Wham on the other hand side.
And JD was the one focused. JD was the one focused instead of the villagers, and she's just so tanky, as we're seeing highlighted at the bottom. Has some healing over time, so Puppy Paw is more than happy to tank up some damage with her.
Khan now arriving as well. Anaton not too far off from being able to age up himself. Points being taken here. So many spearmen out from Wham right now. 9 spearmen, 10 from Anaton. Not all of them are here though.
Yeah, they all, half of the group started running on back away. One Knight is closing the gap. Should be able to start picking off some spears unless they turn. Other reinforcements coming. But it's still not a fight that 3D would want to take.
Where is the rest of the spearmen here, though? I wonder behind all of that.
Oh, they're all low health. That's why he's not
They
one to
are.
he's not one to take the fight with all the low health spearmen. Probably gonna get the imams at some point and get some healing.
Imam could definitely do wonders there. John, I think she probably already has the experience needed to level up. I'm guessing Puppy Paw might want to go for an outpost first with her. She's still not transformed yet.
She still is waiting, watching. Feudal age has been reached. Anatan, Uvu's very far out. Barracks is far out. It's going to make reinforcements much harder. And the Imam was the point that got picked. So AoE healing will be able to come in, but not if those spears continue to get picked off. Uvu might have to be sacrificed just for timing.
Age up now coming in for Anatan as well. Upgrade immediately gets queued now. First spears on his side, but where are the Imams? They're moving across now.
Oh,
Knight gets
Knight
picked
got
off.
picked. That's huge.
Spearman able to survive. Jean is T-posing behind them.
Watch out for the
She's going for
T-pose.
it. Oh my god. Oh no, you broke. Wait, she's still T-posing. Oh my god.
Oh, now she's T-posing with the torch. Oh my gosh. Nothing to see here. Totally
Not the weak
normal.
spears. Not the weak spears.
Where are the
The
imams?
Imams. Yeah, they're just kind of like they're coming.
Oh,
it's like
they're
Game
on
of
the other
Thrones. The
side.
dragons are on their way. Next episode for sure.
And
You'll get to
Barracks
see the
gets
dragon.
taken out as well. JD
I
there,
heard.
not there to get the XP for it though.
Now with the Imam in combination, yeah, I mean that's a gunner. There's some matter in as well. That doesn't boost your allies' units though.
And archers have come to play. Couple spears here, good AoE.
Definitely want to make sure to keep those spearmen alive. Always able to heal them back up if you get the chance to.
It's a great job by the Canadian brothers to attack in between 3DB and Anatan. They keep attacking in between and not allowing the armies to really stay grouped in together.
Yeah, once they start getting up together, then finally the Imams are going to be able to also heal up Anton's weak spears now. We are seeing some Keshiks in production now. Puppy Paw just keeps massing up those knights. Pro scouting behind that end. There's the typical wham wall.
There is the we knew he was going to be the first to build them, and sure enough, he is. Wham walls coming in, and Keshik's probably going to try to do some raiding here in the near future. But I'm sure that JD might be the first focus as far as raids go.
Doing it. T-Post shown dark can't hurt you. She's not real. She very much is in this game.
There are
she
5
will hurt you.
traders. 5 traders in the Silver Tree starting to move across all the way to the corner. So Anatan wants to start getting some extra eco boosts going. Oh, 3 of the traders are in Sultani, so it's just 2. Good call.
Yeah. Behind us now, units are pretty much full health again. Trader, he's just waiting for the Silver Tree to get replaced. Oh, good pickoffs there on some of the Jugunu. Not the entire army from Wham is over here yet. He has a good amount of archers out.
Ooh, Vilpic. 2 knights Roman. It's gonna make it hard. Like trading with Knight Civ on the other side always is so difficult. Makes it so hard to kind of take this full length trade, which you obviously want. It's the most efficient, most effective. But knights just are so good at roaming and taking out traders consistently.
Puppy Paw looks to be looking for that Silver Tree. Maybe not. He is now walking back again. Actually seeing an early Palace Guard coming in here. From Wham. Oh, he's getting completely pulled off the food there. He doesn't have any food in the bank at the moment.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Puppy's still just bringing back deer in for himself, as we just saw a couple scouts drop off a couple deer carcasses and some spears that are out of position be losing those last couple spears that he has. He's already made that transition to all archers. I'm pretty sure those are left over from the earlier engagements.
OB also trying to pro scout, but there's already knights over here protecting those deer. That ain't happening at the moment. And Anaton baiting the knights away.
Oh, that's a classic play there. Is able to pick up a villager, and Khan just is still going to consistently circle. Trade, though. Talked about this. Going to get denied by those knights.
Kashix from Anaton gonna be able to protect those scouts. So Pro Scout is not gonna be denied much longer. They're gonna have to move out here quickly because that's a lot of Spearmen and Jugunu.
You say that, but look at B's archer number. And these are Ottoman archers with Metter to buff them up.
Kashix barely get out, but a couple of them do get pinched by the army from Wham. Chonchi's still T-posing out of here. That's a lot of knights, like 14 knights from Puppy Paw. If he consolidates his army, like 36 archers, they're not going to be able to beat this.
No, not at all. Definitely needs the support from Anatan's spears. Anatan's spears closer into his base, though.
Oh, it's going to be so dangerous. By the time you see the knights, it's going to be too late. They're just going to charge onto your archers. Where are the knights? They're 15 out on the map. There's 2 more. And suddenly the army starts ramping up. B, he's suspecting something. Doesn't want to go for it. There's no trade going on for Anaton at the moment. Just one trader. That's about to be found out, though, by the 2 knights from Puppy Paw. They've just been constantly running around the back line here so far.
More Wham walls. On the backside of his wood line, he's actually walled himself away from Puppy, but the Keshiks are moving forward. They spot out the whole mass from Puppy Paw, and both armies are here for Anatan and B, yet where's Wham? JD gets taken on out. Wham's army, slow to move on over, has the more immobile army.
And Gold now is getting denied for the time being. There are a couple of knights in B space from Puppy Paw right now, causing a little bit of idle time. Matter needs to be careful. You gotta keep that guy alive. That's the bread and butter.
Again,
Imam's able to heal it up.
Armies just getting split apart. Puppy and Wham can't group their armies together, and B and Anatan are really taking advantage of this. Spears splitting off on the bottom side, not letting the knights move forward, but JD happy to move forward if the archers don't react quick enough. Gets a good AoE on the spears, and now spear number thinned out pretty heavily. Keshiks are diving, the Chooks on the other side, and the archers are just trying to clean that up as fast as possible. JD now finally getting focused, no more XP her way. And the Chooks cleared up, but it's all about the Cav, and there's so many knights here from Puppy Paw. Huge problem for Team 3D and Anatan.
They're getting cleaned up. Military getting completely cleaned up. Just so many knights, and every knight that you're not killing here is gonna heal up to full in just a matter of minutes.
Yeah, even though they did a great job splitting them up, the big problem was JD got a couple AoE cleaves on the spear mass, and then all of a sudden the spears get demoralized, and knights are just too numerous now for Puppy Paw with the extra heal too. 19 knights gonna run across and take advantage of this.
Yeah, still more Keshiks coming in, but Keshiks, they're just a budget knight here in this situation.
Yeah, like you said, a lot of those knights are, needs to pull back some of those low knights and just let them heal up for a second.
And heal up they will. Chivalry isn't even in yet, but it's gonna come in. Like, there's no way that 3 DEDA can take a fight anytime soon right now. Actually, Keshik count is already back up to 12 and 6 more in queue. The issue is that the Jugunu count is also very high, and that's not something that we can match right now.
No, not at all. You could see they tried to focus on him. They tried to thin it out a lot, and it didn't do enough as the knights cleared out the archers much quicker, and now the Chooks are taking the straight up engagement. Anatan gonna try to take out reinforcements, it looks like.
Yeah, but they're grouping up, and now Royal Institute with so many knights still alive, healing up again. Six villagers on gold.
Forces Puppy and Wham to react to this. Forces them to pull back. More Wham walls being built. Outposts already there. So has a lot of spots for those villagers to hide. And Anatan's choosing to dive. Those Keshik, they do not have a ton of ranged armor. They are not as tanky as actual knights.
Yeah, they're lacking that bonus HP. 145 compared to 190 HP in Feudal Age. And now there's no way out for Anton as well. He's trapped in there.
Trapped in there with a lot of knights, and there are gates for Wham's villagers, so they're able to jump in and out effectively, not losing any villagers as long as he reacts and uses the vision that he has.
It's doing the right thing here. Trying to get the surround split up though from Anatant.
Good split, but still great reaction by Puppy splitting as well.
Now Puppy Paw reached the age up with 1,000 gold in the bank. Doesn't have the food right now because he just pulled so many villagers over to gold to immediately be able to click Royal Bloodlines. But still has a lot of deer under his TC. And behind this, Wham also being close to able to age up. And there we go. Age up coming in now. Shaolin Monastery. This is looking very, very rough right now for the 3 DEDA. Clinton might be able to age up soon. But he's still a good bit away, and there's no trade.
Yeah, I mean, even if he does age up, he has 21 on gold. It's the next drop-off. He'll be able to age. It just feels like this timing from Puppy that Wham and Puppy are clearly going to take advantage of. It's the, okay, Royal Bloodlines, let's wait a minute and a half, and then let's just A-move someone's base. Literally just get on top of their TC and take the fight and force the fight.
Oh, there we go. That's the waltz.
Okay, wall himself in and then be able to gather the gold nice and easy on the backside. Oh my gosh, that's
He's
great.
just waiting there. Get those Keshiks out of my gold mine. I'm working here.
Now 3DB can't move up. He has a lot more spears this time as he has started to make spears himself. 23 of them, as has to respect that knight mass, especially it being Castle Age. But Feudal Age spears against Royal Bloodline Castle Age knights is not a good fight even.
Quite the recipe for disaster, and it feels like disaster is pretty inevitable here in this one right now. The army count, I mean, it's just the value behind it that is so devastating, and the fight is being taken.
Yeah, Puppy Paw happy with this fight. Needs to wait, though. Wait for the army of Wham. Has 2 different groups. One grouping's just taking down the archers. Anatan not there yet with the Keshiks. And B just has to run. And look at the spears.
Getting surrounded.
Oh, no. Gets a
Spears
full
are the important
surround.
part here.
Archer's now surrounded as well. This might be B chatting to Anatan. Good game. And sure enough, it is. Anatan throws in the towel. Game number 1 goes over to Team Canada.
An opening match here in this grand final. It looked really, really close, but then they just took a fight with just a couple too few spearmen. Knights just able to survive with a sliver of HP each. And if they're able to survive, then that means they're going to be able to heal up to full. Puppy Paw using that opportunity to age up behind it. Royal Bloodline Knights. These Knights mean serious business at this point in time.
All right. B has castle resources.
Yeah, but
There
he's
it
loaded
is.
the game, and there we go.
Maybe he was just like, I'm going to go get some water real quick, you know? Use the time right there. Get a nice old reset. But game number 1 goes over to Team Canada. And you can really just see where the military value just took a complete turn. It was both players or both teams were massing up units. Then it was that head-on fight where Wham and Puppy were split off, but the spears got thinned out and the knights were just able to run through everything else.
Yeah, I mean, the Mass Knights, having Keshiks is a decent answer, cost to performance wise, but in similar count, you're just not going to be able to take these engagements. And JD is phenomenal when it comes to being able to just pump out these knights, especially with the consecration, able to just get that big discount food wise on those knights.
And you can actually just see that eco loss. B was the one who took the most damage eco wise. Anatan still had that one trader up, but never had more eco at all. And so really just felt like they were lacking in that regards as the other side. A little bit scarier civs there when it comes to feudal age. JD always going to be one of the upper echelon.
Yeah, rough one here. I feel like at this point in time, maybe they should have just tried to snipe out the weak knights. Just make sure that all of these like really low health knights do go down, because in the end, Puppy Paw being able to survive this with like 15, 16, maybe even 18 knights and being able to heal all of them when so many were low HP, that's just devastating. If there were like 5 more spearmen here, this could have definitely gone the other way.
Yeah. And that's just one where it's just we talked about the early game Dark Age where one spear could be the difference. It's like that's the exact thing in those fights. It really snowballs on up. They could have a few more spearmen, and it really felt like that early game Dark Age fight. A lot of the spears were like disjointed. They never really got to full heal, even though the Imam point was the first point clicked. And at this point in the game, this is where we talked about Puppy just had too many knights at this point for the other side to be able to do anything.
Yeah. The final fight happening here, and I mean, Anaton doesn't even take the fight. He already knows, okay, this army, I'm not going to be in time, and GG got called at that point in time.
Great job by Puppy there getting through the units. I always love seeing the players of the Cav do that, where they'll make sure to run through the units, mess up their pathing, get the most damage down possible. But enough of land maps. We got water right now.
Yeah, and we're going to be seeing Japan and Ottomans against no PNG found from 3 DEDA, so that's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah. I wonder which no PNG is going to get banned.
Looks like all of them got banned. So no civilizations for 3 DEDA.
They're not allowed to.
Abbasid and Juji, okay.
Uh-huh.
So we got confirmation here. Abbasid and Juji, I mean, that's interesting. I really wonder if we're going to see any player, like, if there's anybody that does the play where on this map, you get an early transport ship out and you build the meditation garden on one of these outer islands. I think it's going to be 3 DEDAs.
Oh, yeah. No doubt in my mind, if anyone's going to do it, it is them. Or do some weird stuff where, like, somehow they try to, like, I do not think this would work, but fast feudal and then go for denial military ships, but at that point you're just going to be so far behind in the fishing. But they are ones for some weird strategies for sure.
That's what we want to see after all. That's how they managed to win so many games here so far in like really an odd manner that we haven't ever seen before. Just recalling that fast advancement wing into pro scouts IBIT build, like those are just kind of like these wild strategies that you don't really think about, but then it gets pulled off and you're like, man, that can actually work.
Yeah, I mean, it's that, and the only person who's going to come up with strategy like that or have the guts to try a strategy like that in the semifinals of a tourney is B, I feel like. A lot of other players, they might try out some strategies on ladder, customs, things like that. But in tourney games, he's like, yeah, I'll try it out. I don't care.
Exactly. Japan and Ottomans on the other side. I mean, Ottomans, they can be really scary once you get to Castle Age. Like the Ottoman Castle Age ship, the Grand Galley, that's no joke. That's no joke of a ship. That's almost like a Bao-Chan, like Carrack type level ship that you can get in Castle Age. Very expensive, but on top of that, you can also turn into a military school on water. And recently it's been fixed. Recently it's been changed. So now the speed that you do get the units in is the same speed as a military school under the influence of a blacksmith. So now you can actually get the units in very quickly from it as well.
Yeah, and I mean, you talked about the Grand Galley, and it's what we saw earlier today on Archipelago was fast castles coming out from almost everyone. So if we see that again this game, that falls right into the hands of the Ottomans, like you're saying. That's exactly where they want to be.
Yeah, at the same time, it's like it's kind of difficult getting to that Castle Age position though with the Ottomans. But then again, the last time we saw Archipelago, players have been playing it kind of chill. There hasn't been a lot of aggression going on. Not sure if they can afford to play chill here, considering that there's an Ottomans in the game, where there's always the looming threat of potentially a Grand Galley coming out.
Yeah, I mean, Auto is paired with Japan, who is one of those civilizations that's always talked about being, strong on water. They have not only the cheap fishing boats, they have the free stone that they slowly get over time from mining gold. So usually that can kind of turn into dock emplacements or, some other bonuses as well. Just kind of a combination of some different things.
Think about transport shipping a shinobi over to an enemy's island.
Now we're talking. I mean, if we had Japan with 3DB or Anatan, now we might be seeing that out. But with Wham and Puppy, I feel like they're more of the play the OG style, play the quote unquote correct style.
All right, only 20 seconds separating us from our next game. 3DEDA right now 1 point behind on the scoreboard. Canada so far looking very, very strong. Gonna have to wait and see though if 3DEDA still have some aces up their sleeve in order to get back into the set.
Yeah, very clean first game from Team Canada, but we saw 3DEDA shock some viewers earlier, have some really, really good games, some really fun series. So, we will see if that happens here. Timer hits 0. We're jumping on into game 2.
All right, game number 2 on Archipelago. Here we go. 3D Cat and Fox Anaton this time around. So B getting subbed out for Cat in this one. He's playing as Juji's Legacy. Anaton over on the Abbasid. Puppy Paw in the color pink playing as the Ottomans. And Wham playing as the Japanese.
And so no B means throw out the window all those crazy strategies. Still wouldn't hate to see that transport ship into Meditation Gardens on the other island. Although I feel like you just sacrifice so much timing if you're doing that, and that's a lot of resources thrown down the drain. That could be extra fishing boats, could be military ships early on to deny and idle out your opponent.
Yeah, that's true. It always depends on if you're getting like the value in. Like sometimes you get like island generations. For example, the top island, if it's a little bit closer to the wood line, getting gold, berries, stone, and wood all in one meditation garden, that could be worth like an additional 2 villagers compared to what you get on your main island. And then you start to think, okay, like 2 villagers, like additional 2 villagers compared to a normal meditation garden in my base, that could be worth.
Yeah. You're not wrong there. You're not wrong there. So we'll see if that happens. Hard part there is it's kind of like a guess though, because you're not able to go out and scout those islands early on. You're not able to get that vision, to get that knowledge. So
it's a gamble.
That's the difficult part. Yeah, it is a gamble.
Right behind the so far early start here. Not a lot going on these water maps at the beginning of a game. Right now, players just massing up those fishing ships, trying to get the economy going, and then we'll have some feudal ages coming soon. In the meantime, we've been talking a lot about the players here so far, but let's also talk about you guys. Let's talk about the viewers, because, man, all of this would not be possible without you tuning in live here on HEC TV. Your help, you viewing here, subscribing, everything that you guys are doing here helps us put on these great events for you guys. And, man, I'm just so happy to be able to cast all of these amazing games, man.
Oh yeah, it's been a great couple series so far today. Great tournament so far, and excited to see what the rest of the series holds. Always fun casting with you over here.
Likewise. How many docks do we have out so far from these players? Looks like the second dock for Anatant is just now coming in. Cat looks to also be placing his second dock now. Nice little discount there for Anatant as the Abbasid, so able to place that second dock a little bit earlier. 3 villagers over on gold. I'm wondering which landmark we are gonna be getting here from Puppy Paw.
Yeah, and Cal really wants you to know that he was hovering over Puppy Paw, has that cheaper dock as well.
He does. But he hasn't. He has made a second dock as well.
Yeah.
Only 100 wood on that one.
Yeah, when I was watching the minimap earlier, it was like I think Puppy and Anatan were the first 2 to drop them like way early on, and then Wham followed up with his, and I think just now Cat is getting his second dock finished up. So all the players going to be operating on 2 docks. Yep, they all are, and it's still fishing boats for now, but feudal ages are not going to be too far away with all this extra eco they have behind it now.
Yeah, lots of villagers over on gold here for Wham. 5 villagers working diligently. Puppy Paw shifting a lot of villagers over to food, so age up is likely getting rushed up as soon as possible now for them. Cat and Anton still a little bit away, and there we go. Sultai Trade Network, that's the expected one. Able to get a nice additional boost of gold here as soon as age up comes in. That's going to be 74 gold per minute for him. Roughly equal to a Mansa quarry, so definitely nothing to sneeze at. You can
Oh.
also get additional ones in.
And it is the Coca Township being built by Wham. So let's see what he can do with the Shinobi play.
Shinobi getting transport. That's going to be an interesting one. Villagers. Oh. Oh, okay.
Oh, normal
40 seconds
meditation
there will
gardens.
Yeah, it's still a decent one. You're getting gold. You're getting like roughly, what is it, 30 wooden. So it's going to be like a 55 resource meditation garden.
Oh,
There's a
yeah.
relic blocking this one, unfortunately. Else this would be like an 120. No, this would be 150 resource meditation garden. Like then it would be definitely worth it. This one as well, looking super, super good.
Yep.
When you get like this 150 resource per minute compared to just 50 inside of your base, then you're really thinking, okay, maybe it would have been worthwhile going out.
Well, feudal ages are finally finishing. First one has come in from Puppy Paw. Immediately queues up a transport ship. Is that what that is? Yeah, I think it's a transport ship.
It's coming in for Wham for the Coca Township play.
Ah, okay. Ah, there it is.
So we're waiting for those Shinobi to come in. Anaton also aging up behind this. And it's gonna be Scout and Shinobi, I'm guessing. Wait, transport ship. He's about to leave the port without us, without the units he's supposed to transport. There we go.
There he goes. And this is the big thing to follow early on. And I wonder if he's going to try to hit at the same time that Puppy moves forward with his... I think he went Springled ship first. Nope. Archer ship.
Yeah,
Springled
Archer
ship
coming
thank you.
out from Cat and Puppy Paw at the same time. Wham, still has a lot of food left in the bank. Maybe he's thinking about a fast castle age now behind all of this.
Yeah, their Puppy and Wham's macro was definitely super, super clean with that early build. You could see how early they started their age ups. There's that dock getting idled out, that transport ship drop on the main island. Now it's time to circle around, go try to... Actually, they're just going to start torching down this forward dock, just get as much damage down as possible.
Looks like it. Scout is getting put inside the dock. No, he's just going to go somewhere else. He's going to try and look for damage somewhere else now.
Anatan moving around with his scout on the island, making sure to follow that transport ship, have good vision, good knowledge of that, and so many fishing ships. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, looking at the economy, if it wasn't for the 3 bonus traders that Puppy Paw got as the Ottomans, they would be like a good 5-6 villagers behind right now.
Yeah. Now you're going to start seeing Cat build up his military prowess in the mid-map. Question is, you know, once you see that first Shinobi drop, you always have to have that in the back of your mind, though, that it could be coming. And speaking of what you said earlier, Wham is indeed playing that fast castle. And oh, the Camel Archer takes down the Shinobi.
Yeah, that's the added bonus damage that you get with the Camel Archers as well. A little bit of a costly investment there for Anaton. If it wasn't for that one, he could pretty much already be aging up now to the next age. But now, in theory,
everyone's aging up. Everyone's gonna age up.
Everybody's going for it. Yeah, it's dangerous.
Is this the new thing? Like,
apparently so.
I mean, if everyone does it, it's like it's not a problem. But it's like, I'm so confused. I mean,
demo ship as well. Anaton's gonna have to pull back.
That forward dock is being focused down. Camel Archer is now kind of worthless. Can't do too much unless he tries to do a transport ship drop with that. Demo ship.
Okay.
It was a slow reaction from Wham, but was able to react in time still as Anaton pulled it back. And
Cat still getting messed up.
Yeah, Cat and Puppy both are just kind of massing up, waiting, not overstepping, making sure to kind of play this defensively. And Wham,
Getting knights.
here we
We're
go.
getting knight drops. Oh, that's gonna be so annoying to deal with. But we're getting camels. Camel riders.
Easy.
Maybe?
He knows. This is so
That's an
weird.
interesting mechanic.
Shaolin Monastery. There's the MIA, so we're gonna have some free siege over time,
Not just free siege, we're gonna be getting the Grand Galley.
And the Grand Galley sprinkled ship wars happening. I missed the spin to win days. It was so much more interesting, but not really that much more interesting.
A little bit interesting, but also not interesting at the same time.
Forward docks coming in from Puppy now. He wants to get those reinforcements there even faster. Also could potentially, get some stone over time and maybe get some arrow slits and placements. Although when you get this many sprinkled ships, it makes that springing and placements on your dock not that effective.
Yeah. Castle Age about to finish now for both Puppy Paw and Anaton. Not being able to rush your age up here does hurt you a good bit with your timing. Looks like the Mounted Samurai are moving into the transport ship now. Oh, that's going to be interesting. There are more Camel Archers coming out as well behind this. Who are they going to go for? If they're going for Cat, then Cat will find himself in trouble.
I'm not sure where that transport ship is. It might be the one that's split off in the middle up top.
Oh, it's going to go over to Anaton.
It is going to go to Anatan. He's pushing forward with his mass. He has vision of it. A villager torching the transport ship, so I don't think he's seen it. Now he does see the Mounted Samurai, though, and should have his camel riders on the way, right? Villagers need to pull off the gold.
Transport ship. He put them inside the transport ship.
Oh, no.
They're not where they needed to be. Yeah, look at that. They're over on the island.
We're seeing
They
a
don't
little
have
bit of
armor. They don't have armor. They're able to cause some idle time here, but
yeah, they would have done a lot better defending his base. Oh, but fortunately pulls over the Mounted Samurai on his base over to the water and kills the Mounted Samurai with his sprinkled ships.
yeah, army mass so far looking pretty decent for Puppy Paw and Wham at the moment. Not so much for 3 DEDA. We still don't have any Grand Galleys coming in. Would have loved to see some of those by now. But so far, just playing normal meta game.
It's weird. Anatan's starting to make crossbows and has some camel archers. Demo ship doesn't quite connect.
There are some emplacements in as well. Difficult to take these fights now. Castle Age upgrades pretty much completely researched at this point in time. It's still more land military being invested into now for these players.
Yeah, spears, crossbows. Like I guess once it happens, you got to start respecting the other side of it, or else you'll slowly start taking more and more damage over time. Front wood line starting to be a little worrisome. It might be time to start transporting some vills over to the island.
Yep, still taking some good trades here. Some good trades.
Anatan just took down so many ships. It was Wham wanted to take the fight because Puppy was on the way. It's all the military fights together, and in his Puppy and Wham, they have to take this fight now, and they seem to be outnumbered.
They are outnumbered. They're going back to the dock that has the emplacement on it. But this is looking like a very, very good fight for them at the moment.
Demo ship moving on forward again, sniped on out by the galleys. Another sprinkled ship, almost taken down.
A ship soaking up the fire, Demo! Big shot, gets the connection. On a weak health ship though, but still, good shot.
A lot of demos together from Cat. He's doing the I got 5. Some of these are going to end up connecting at some point. Looks like villagers might be idled on Wham's Island.
I don't think there's a lot of wood remaining there. They're kind of getting blocked out when it comes to being able to move out to another side, to another island here.
Oh, it was spears. It's a spear mass.
Oh my god.
I mean, no wonder Wham and Puppy are losing the fight on the waters because he invested into so many spears. He doesn't have as much resources going into ships, and now they're getting pushed back. They're losing docks, and this is right when I just said it on the other side. The wood lines are getting thin. You need to start making a play for the other island, and it's hard to make a play for the other island when you lost your control. Double demos.
Oh, doesn't quite get it. He's gonna be able to
two
get
fishing
ships.
Oh, big
great
connection. A
demo jump.
lot of those Springle ships are now super low health. Cat needs to pull those back, needs to get some healing on them, but instead continuing to push forward.
So many spearmen getting massed up now behind this. Wham, he wants to get the transport over, and I think he's about to be able to do that.
They're still losing more and more positioning. Demo's still ready and waiting, but now Puppy and Wham have been able to equalize the military numbers. Remember, there are a lot of spears, though. Not all of this is on water. Puppy slowly losing positioning, slowly having to fall back, but that makes it more beneficial for him, closer to his reinforcements.
Of demo ships right now, though, for Puppy Boys. Up to 10 demo ships behind this. Anaton's also investing, and Wham is raiding Anaton on water now. On his land, I mean. On his island. There's a lot of spearmen on the island from Anaton. Getting the picture.
Spearman drop has happened. You can see the picture-in-picture. Jumps inside the TC, though. Getting some TC fired down. Tons of idle time coming in, running towards that wood line. Villagers are at worrisome. There is a camel archer trying to help on out clear the spearmen, and on water. Cat
the demo
and
ship.
Anaton.
Oh, Anaton distracted by what's happening on land.
He just lost his whole entire sprinkled ship mass that was up front and forward because of the land distraction. This is why that's effective.
Oh man, that really biting him right now. Wham, he hasn't moved out yet onto any of these islands. Captain needs to do that soon. He's running out of wood.
This is a big problem for Wham. If he doesn't do this sooner, he's got to get to this point where all of a sudden you're idled for a significant amount of time. You got to, have multiple trips with the transport ship. That's all military that he has there. He needs to drop off the military, get some villagers in there.
Oh man, that much military though. Like if he lands on Anaton's side again, it's gonna be really tough for him to deal with that. More transport ships coming in for Wham now, so should be able to have the capacity to move all of these villagers out.
Anaton's going Gulams.
Interesting. Doesn't really do a lot against the mounted samurai, and right now they just need more ship mass. Looks like Cat wants to age up to the Imperial Age. If he manages to get there, Bao Chance could turn the tide here, but Puppy Paw, the first Grand Galley, is coming in.
Oh, and getting some demos onto the backside, trying to connect with some demos like we saw in the earlier games, killing 14 or so fishing boats with a couple demos. Anaton just needing to split. Puppy says, it's not worth it. See, great splits by Anaton. Now Galley's able to connect.
Oh,
Puppy just needs Puppy just needs to explode him.
Oh no, Anaton.
There's four.
Yeah.
Good connection.
Good value. All right, Cat about to pull the trigger on the age up. There we go. Temple of the Sun now coming in. But as soon as that age up comes in, Puppy Paw and Wham, they're gonna pull the trigger. They're gonna go balls to the wall against Cat and Anaton here.
And there's the double.
Great bombard we see here point.
A great bombard and a bunch of mangonels as well. So a ton of siege that they have on out.
That's interesting. So we're gonna see a lot of these, like this siege. He can drop it in theory on one of the sacred sites. That gives him a nice forward position. That's gonna be really hard to deal with. And look at that. There we go. Ships now turned over into mobile military schools.
I mean, don't drop them on the sacred sites. Just drop them on the island.
base.
With the spears and the mounted samurai. There is not going to be enough to deal with this. Just
There we
game
go.
over. Take down all the docks. Take down all the ships. Everything. All right. Or just
casually tanking that shot.
Yep. Just walking on by. Ignore him. Don't pay attention to him. But the
He's so
docks
important right
falling
now.
is really the problem here. Anatan trying to push up, take the fight. Cat, though, he's still just sitting there on the backside.
No bow chance in Q yet. He doesn't have the food for it. There we go. First couple of bow chance are coming in now. It's going to be a while, though, until they actually come out onto the field.
Look at those Grand Galleys. They're so tanky. They're tanking down tons of units. Demo ships coming in. Anatan might not be paying attention. Demo ship.
Oh my god! Another great connection comes in.
Big connection there on the bottom side. Grand Galley still firing from support.
Behind
and
all of
Wham
that,
and
Grand
Puppy
Galleys
just have so many numbers.
Yeah, behind all of this, the Grand Galleys also just generate land units behind all of that. So if they don't die, at one point, they can just put out the land units on the enemy island.
Demo's still not quite able to connect. Oh, except that one
great
does.
connections there.
Grand Galleys are now the up front and forward ships. So tanky, though, starting to get focused down. One ends up falling. Next one starting to get focused, but Demos push forward. Cat needs to fall back. Snipes them all down. Attempted Wololo on the bottom side. And it's a Gulam drop on the island.
Together with some villagers, so chaos now ensues. Outposts are getting rushed up ASAP.
And there's
the
more
Canadians here.
Oh my gosh. That's so much damage that can happen on the backside now, but on the water is still the key. Cat's doing everything he can. Foul chads are here.
Chance now coming to play, but still there are so many demo ships. You have to be careful. Takes good care of them though. There we go, and so many weak ships.
All of Puppy Paw's ships are so low health on the backside. Still so much idle time had been caused.
Docks are getting remassed now. And so many bow chants in queue, but neither Puppy Paw nor Wham can afford Imperial Age anytime soon. This could be devastating, and now Anatan, he's just contributing archer ships right now in order to help deal with the mass of demo ships.
I wonder how many villagers went down. I mean, at least a ton of idle time, but speaking of idle time, speaking of villager damage, this is the main island, but at this point, evacuations happen. I wouldn't even be surprised too to see Anatan drop another TC on the second island soon.
He could potentially go for it. They just need to be careful that they're not starting to get raided on that second island as well.
This fight on the water's now happening in between Puppy and Wham's base, and it is looking good. Like you said, Cat is just taking over this game. Now I see why they sub 3DB for him on Archipelago.
Looks like the water practice is paying off for Cat. Grand Galley once again gets taken out. There's only demo ships. Puppy Paw only has demo ships now.
And there's so many archer ships still here, and even not archer ships, even the scrimmage ships can slowly take out.
Able to pick off a couple of ships, but not enough. So much value lost in terms of demo ships. Good attempt, but not enough here. And now the nest of bee emplacement comes in as well. Only 50 military remaining on water. And Team 3 DEDA, Cat and Anatan together with the power of Zhuji's legacy. The Chinese bow chants reigning supreme on water.
It looked so scary for a second. It looked like Puppy Paw and Wham had the numbers, had everything they needed, but instead, Cat has taken over this game. He is Imperial, and Puppy, he's trying to match Imperial Age, but now, because he's doing that, they have sacrificed everything. They have lost all their positioning on the water.
Oh no.
Oh no, oh no.
Oh no, indeed. Oh, he's going for it.
He's starting to build it, and this is right near the ships. If the ships step up, you said the nest of beam placements, and oh my gosh, the nest of beam placement! Oh my
That's
god!
a lot of demo ships, though. You gotta respect them. God, good connections from the demos, though.
Great connections from the demos, indeed. Cat now moving up to the landmark yet again. Nest of beam placement! So much damage on those villagers, but able to get it up in time. Now it's a keep with the great bombard emplacement right off the bat, I believe.
Does indeed have that emplacement. Great bombard. That's just a big boulder, but it's low on health. It might just get taken down. Oh, that was so quick. It's down in an instant. In an instant. No
Villagers
way.
immediately run away, and there it goes.
Crazy game. And now the set is even. DEDA have done it. The 3 DEDA, they're back in it.
Unbelievable game. What a shock there. It looked so good for a bit for Wham and Puppy. It looked like they had the leg up on Cat and Anatan, but instead, sure enough, the Imperial Age was not agreed play. It was calculated. The Balchads just took over, and there was nothing that the Canadians could do to stop it.
Looking at this, Team Canada, even though with 3,000 more resources gathered, the military lead from 3 DEDA just coming out on top here.
Anatan only lost one villager from all those drops.
That's kind of crazy, isn't
That's
it?
wild.
That is absolutely wild.
That is so crazy. Unbelievable to think about that now, actually looking at that. And what a crazy, crazy back and forth game. And now a tied
Wait,
up series.
that's the wrong graph. There
Okay.
we go. That's more
Yeah.
like it.
I was
Yeah,
about to
okay.
say, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a
there we
previous
go.
game. Okay.
I was confused.
Yeah,
Okay.
now the story
Now,
makes sense with military lead for Canada
okay.
and then 3 DEDA coming back with that Imperial Age.
Yeah. Yeah. Now we're normal. I was just looking at the left side and I wasn't even thinking there. Okay.
Oh
Well,
man, that was a crazy game. Like Imperial Age Baldlands with the Death of BM placement absolutely carried this one. And what
un
do we take away from this one? Just not enough Grand Galleys.
or too many Grand Galleys?
Not enough.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
Shouldn't even have been a single sprinkle ship.
And you can see there, a lot of these back and forths on the water. There was one point where Cat and Anatan just collapsed on Puppy and Wham's armies together, right in between Anatan and Wham's base. And that was really, I felt like, the turning point that allowed them some breathing room for some time. And it felt like that gave them a chance back into it. And sure enough, they got back into it and ended up taking down the other side.
Yeah, Cat found a great moment to be able to age up to Imperial Age and then being able to hold out for long enough, getting those couple of just power chunks in, just managed to like absolutely help them dominate these fights. At one point, Anakin just had so many sprinkle chips, like looking back at it, and we don't even remember that because they just all got taken down by a couple of demo ships. There we go, we're about to see it right here. I feel like there we go, yeah, demo ships coming in from both sides, and Anakin just absolutely losing the majority of all of his sprinkle chips. It's kind of insane how he still managed to survive a lot of that with the help of shipwrights as well as the unique Abyssal technology giving some extra health to those ships.
And then this was just the game ender. As you said, you got to be worrisome of those demo ships, but right when the demos are cleared, Cat steps up with his Balchads, got a couple nested B shots on villagers, as you saw here. A couple went down, a lot of damage down, and right as the landmark goes up, it's already at half health. You see, Puppy Ball immediately tries to start healing it up, and it's just not enough. Too many ships here and too much damage.
Yeah, the Springle ship also added the cannon with an upgrade there in Imperial Age, so a lot of additional damage and just the overall upgrade advantage that Cat had there in this game, being an Imperial Age.
But that will be the last water map with deep sea fish. We still have Krolager, which has some shoreline fish, but will we even see that here? Series tied 1-1. Game 3 is Cliffside. And a classic civ on Cliffside that I always see is English, and it's on the side of Canada over there paired with a UBIDS versus the Rus and HRE on the other side.
Yeah, over on the side of 3 DEDA, we're getting Rus HRE, as you mentioned, and that's an interesting composition, overall combination. We've seen Rus a couple of times trying to be the knight civ here. It hasn't really wowed me so far. What about you?
I feel like it's just like they're just not as good. It's almost like they're better than Keshiks, that's for sure, but it's still like almost like feeling like Keshiks. It's just like they're not French Knights, they're not JD Knights, they're just very underwhelming in comparison. And it just feels like they're a little bit slower to get them up and online, I feel like.
Yeah, not just that, just not having the option of even being able to heal up your knights compared to French. whenever you get some weak knights, they're kind of like gone. They're kind of out of the fight unless you go up to like Castle Age, get a warrior monk out, heal them back up manually. Like that knight probably isn't gonna achieve a lot more in their lives. Like they're ready for retirement at that point in time. On the other hand side, longbows and like camel lancers, that's a great combination. Like that, I can see a composition there. Over on the side from Team 3 DEDA, I'm still kind of like wondering what their game plan's gonna be.
I mean, we've seen HRE consistently, other than I want to say that one Lucifron game. I feel like HRE has consistently been the I'm going to make infantry, whether it's Dark Age Spears in some maps that we've seen, or whether it's the Archer Ball mass in Feudal Age because they got a little bit extra move speed and just to kind of mass up. So I feel like that's kind of their role still in this game here, especially when you're going against the civs such as English and a UBIDs where kind of expect some longbows potentially, or more importantly, Desert Raiders are going to be on the way.
I hope we're not going to see mine work into mass archers because that so far has not worked out in this tournament.
I feel like mine work is still the ultimate bait. Chapel is just too good of a landmark to pass up on. Just 40% extra eco. It's like, again, one of those where you can just be so consolidated and concise with your eco, and you're just like, oh, okay, I'm great. I'm just, I'm happy, and then you can make a nice farm transition if you have the wood line, and the farms are under the chapel as well.
I think mine work can have its place, especially when you're massing up a lot of cavalry. Like getting old pikes, getting the heavy barding as well for your knights, and suddenly you get like +2/+2 on your knights. They become so tanky. They can take battles against crossbows as well, just because they're getting an additional 2 damage reduction. Instead of taking like 12 damage from like 6 damage from a crossbow per shot on top of the bonus damage, you're only starting to like take 4. That's quite the difference there.
Yeah, and definitely it's crazy how much the blacksmith upgrades end up doing when combined with other sets of upgrades, whether it's like you said, the steel barding, or whether it's English upgrades, like you can get the chatted arms upgrades and get the extra armor from the men at arms. There's all these different things, and once it feels like a few extra upgrades come on, it feels like they just turn into full tanks.
All right, less than a minute remaining for our game number 3. The series is tied up right now. We're here in the grand final. It's best of 7 between 3 DEDA, consisting of Anaton P and Cat, against Team Canada, consisting of Wham, Puppy Paw, and Blade 55555. 5.
Uh-oh, I feel like that was a few too many, but it's okay. And we are guaranteed at least 5 games, having the series tied at 1-1.
Indeed. I mean, this could be a perfect setup. Maybe we're going all the way to 7 games. This so far has been looking like a really, really amazing set, and I'm excited for this next game. We're about to jump right into that one.
Indeed, we are. Game number 3 starting now. We have Puppy Paw and Wham spawning in on the west side in the blue and teal color combo. English and Ayubids are their civs. And on the other side, the east, we have B and Anatan orange and red combo with HRE and Roos.
All right, double hunting cabin opening here for B. So it's going to be able to get some great gold income here early on in the game. It's going to need to... Wait, did he not move out yet to... Never mind, he did move out to the straggler tree, so has enough for a house there. Not going to get a house. No Dark Age Spearman Rush from the looks of it so far.
Nope,
Overall,
nothing too crazy. Looking like some more ordinary openings. Puppy Paw has been a fan of this 2-farm opening like we've seen. And last time we saw this, he really went heavy into the longbows and then allowed Wham to go fast castle. So Wham is on a civ that can go fast castle very, very easily, has a very clean fast castle. So let's see if we see that again here.
yeah, it could be fast castle. I would imagine it to be fast castle. Maybe even a faster fast castle. We'll see
A,
how
a
exactly that's
faster
gonna work.
fast castle? What would
Even
that would
faster.
that would be like Puppy dropping a market and slinging him some resources or something?
That allowed? That's kind of dirty, man, thinking about it. Imagine you having an HRE sling you with the bonus resource that they get from the Archon.
I did see. I think it was someone on ladder. They played HRE and they got slung resources and they like finished their age up at like 545 or something.
That could be a jiggly build.
No, there's no. I mean, I guess you can go knights once these castle, but I don't know about that.
You sling the Byzantine to castle and then they pump out cataphracts.
Oh, okay.
You only need one player making cataphracts to win a game.
And it is not going to be the mine work for Anatan. He is going with the chapel. It's going to have
That's
berries,
great.
gold, even going to have his wood line for the whole entire wood line because he can drop a lumber camp right there and always have the villagers dropping off inspired. So really, really nice chapel spawn.
Yeah, definitely cannot complain about this one. Golden Gate going up for B behind this. Could we be getting like a double fast castle here? Economic win growth for Wham, so he's going to be getting a lot of resources in for his own fast castle age play. Puppy Paw, I mean, we've seen it so far what he does, right? Council Hall, he's just going to mass up a lot of crossbow. And eventually age up once he reaches like, not crossbows, longbows, but like once he reaches like 70 longbows, I think that's when he starts to consider aging up.
Yeah, 70. That's the number you're. Yeah, I will say in the earlier game today, I want to say it was probably 50 to 70, somewhere around there. By the time you aged up, it was like 85 probably. So, and once you get all those upgrades on those longbows, it's just absolutely nuts. It feels like they're machine guns.
Some sheep donation happening here. Puppy Paw giving over some sheep to Wham. He's just going to be happily farming, so isn't going to need those anytime soon.
And so now that we get these feudal ages finishing on up, the big question for me is Anatan's game plan. Where do these villagers immediately move to? Is it all going to be over to the wood line? That makes me think it's more feudal age play for Anatan now.
Would make sense. Definitely will want to have that wood income for some additional production buildings. And we are getting the mill. Okay, it's actually going in a different direction than I thought the mill was going to get placed. Yeah, I thought it was going to be to the top side, but there we go. Council Hall coming as well. Nice little base building at this point in time from Puppy Paw.
Yeah, it's you know, and you can even see he's got the house even positioned where he can drop the last farm, you know, all tucked in together next to the TC. Real cute base building for Puppy Paw. Makes a lot of people feel good about themselves, I'm sure.
100%. I mean, that's really just a nice, beautiful NPC base at this point in time that you're getting there. The AI base building coming in. And both of them are just moving out now onto wood. What is this going to be for? So B, I'm guessing he's pro scouting, just judging by there being 3 scouts. And indeed, pro scout is coming in.
Knowing B, I feel like no matter what civ he is, now just assume he's pro scouting. He loves it, and he's always going to do it.
Behind this Wham, he almost has the resource to be able to age up. Archer range is coming in from Anatan, but he's only just now making his first archer. Meanwhile, Puppy Paw already has 3 on the field.
Oh, and Wham is going with the advancement wing age up, trying to get this timing, worried about the timing, I guess, and wants to get it down very, very quick.
Yeah, I mean, this age up is going to be very quick. The question is, can B and Anatan get the right units out in time to deal with that? Right now, Anatan's heavily investing into archers, but they're going to need spearmen. The issue is that spearmen, they're kind of allergic to longbows.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. They absolutely detest taking those fights, but you feel like you're gonna have to have spearmen, and so then that combination's hard, and then the spearmen get run around the map as well.
Yeah, this is going to end up being an awkward position. We're now seeing the stables come in, so B probably just now going to start investing into some knights as well. Pro Scouts are already getting some of the deer across. We are seeing some yeah, I mean, this time at least, it's Wham Walls from B as well, at pretty much the exact same time here in the game. Lots of
Yeah.
villagers getting pulled for those as well on both sides.
Yeah. Wham is going to have his walls up first, though, a little bit closer. B's walls are rather aggressive, but once he gets those up, if he could get those up, which he can't, because oh no, I lied. There's Anatan's archers. Yeah, he'll be able to get those up, and once he gets those up, that's very, very good positioning on those walls, especially being cliffside. Super hard to get across, and they should be able to pick off that villager or Whams.
Yeah, if they do notice, but they're going straight for the gold. But stable's already finished. Wham has reached Castle Age, and now you just gotta retreat.
Indeed,
you can't stay there.
You do.
Oh, we're about to see some quick walls coming in from Wham, aren't we? Nope. Villager just gets sacrificed.
Other villager took a nice old run around, but a good job by Anatan splitting up the archer grouping, able to pick off another villager, but will lose an archer for it.
Yeah, one archer is going to go down here, but now the camel lances are going to be coming in, and behind that, walls have gone up for Anatan as well. Looks like B has a mission in this game. Looks like B and Anatan share that mission at the same time.
Is that walls?
It is walls everywhere. We're seeing some classic Valdemar onions coming up right now.
Ooh, one on the north side, though, does get denied, and the walls are only as good as your biggest hole, and there's a big hole in these walls.
It is. You're not going to really be able to like get the wall off there as well, as long as the longbows stay there. More walls coming up behind all of this, so, I mean, at least the, I'm going to say mobility advantage with the Camel Lancers isn't going to be able to be utilized right away. Ragnar's coming in behind this now for Anatan, so at least there's the potential of maybe getting crossbows or your own Castle Age Knights in. It is still only longbows from Puppy Paw. I feel like that's enough. Like, what else does English really realistically need to provide?
That's exactly what he did the other game, and he's just going to roll with it. Just keep massing longbows. If your opponent doesn't have a bunch of knights, which there's 3 knights on the other side, then you should be all good to go. The Camel Lancer number is starting to climb and is starting to build now.
Yeah, we're already at as many Camel Lancers as there are normal knights for B at this point in time. This is getting a little bit worrisome. Walls have been denied, so now the floodgates are open.
Yeah, and those walls, it's not like you can like sneak out and finish those on up. There's just constant units running on through. You can see Puppy Paw. There's a bunch of different blue units on the map. Cal showing us a nice easy spot to run on through in between those cliffs and the walls there. And Anatan has reached Castle Age, has been able to match over that Castle Age now.
Yeah, but now there we go. He is starting to make those crossbows, but crossbows, they can't really do what you need them to do here right now. They're just going to get immediately sniped out by any longbows coming out. I think maybe like a double knight play from B and Anadant could have worked here, or could work here. Sure, there are Camel Lancers, but you need some armored units. Maybe in like just men-at-arms could work as well.
Yeah, it looks like Puppy and Wham grouping together in between the bases of B and Anatan. Going to make it really hard for them to take the fight together. You just saw right when B stepped up, he got chased on away, and Anatan, he's just massing the units behind his TC, waiting as long as he possibly can, and it looks like he's going to be forced to take that fight. Villagers jump inside the TC. Longbows starting to snipe down the crossbows immediately. That's their main focus. Villagers will need to evacuate the gold as well. Anatan is just getting full dove in B. He's slow to get here, slow to arrive. Villagers, they need to keep running. They have nowhere to go, though. And Knights are circling back on the backside. Camel Lancers clearing up all of the ranged mass, though. Anatan just got caught with his pants down.
Yeah, now the Camel Lancers return, so the Knights, they're not going to have an easy time trying to wrap around the archers here, getting some good damage in. There's a couple of crossbows trying to do their best. Longbow mass still up, though, so you're not able to really get the engagements that you ideally want to get here. Behind this, relics are getting put in, or are coming towards the base at least. Yeah, and now there aren't that many longbows remaining, losing a lot of the knights, but able to diminish the longbow mass by a lot.
Yeah, B did a really good job just diving through the Camel Lancers and just focusing down the longbows, but just Camel Lancers still providing that debuff on all of those knights, and Tower and TC helping take down those units as well. Not as much damage as they could have taken though, so they could be, DEDA could be in a much worse position than they're in.
I'm not 100% sure because it looks like B also lost some villagers here at some point. He's down to 37. Puppy Paw hasn't lost a villager, and he's up at 41.
Yeah, you must have lost them somewhere, but they've cleaned up. Oh, there's the little split unit mass onto the gold. So great job by Puppy Paw just having a couple different raiding groups, even though it's, you know, longbows and spears that he's raiding with.
Yeah. Knights being able to defend here. Garrison comes in. Is going to lose one villager, though. Unfortunately, didn't garrison that in the wooden fortress. Sometimes the AI just loves to torture us in weird ways with the pathing.
One Camel Lancer falls from the TC fire. 3DB and Anatan finally able to group their militaries together, but I feel like it's just too late at this point. Wham starting to reinforce extra eco behind, dropping TCs, and I'm pretty sure he probably has 5 relics, if I had to guess.
Definitely should have a couple. Anatan managed to sneak in quite a few as well. I think Anatan might be at like 2 at least, maybe even 3.
Oh, then if he's at 3, then Wham.
He's at 2, okay. And there's still 1 in the back of B space. And Anatan actually has a decent mass now. He doesn't really need to be too afraid here.
Looks like they are debating on the dive again.
Massive crossbows is really starting to build now. 3 relics so far for Wham. Is probably going to get 4, so we're looking at a 4-to-3 relic split here in the end. Good amount of knights at this point in time from B.
And Camel
Gets a
Lancer's
good
not.
charge.
Oh, not sure if that's a fight that Wham's going to want to take. Good cutoff by B to stop around the reinforcements from escaping out the backside. But now Puppy Paw arrives. B starts to run away, but still really good fight from B there.
Yeah, managed to take a good couple of hits there on those Camel Lancers. Knights are kind of low health right now, though. And Puppy Paw behind this is starting to get up to Castle Age sometime soon. He's only needing a couple. He just needs a little bit more food now at this point in time. And the gold village just gets spouted out. B, he sees this.
No.
The scouts see it.
Oh, B,
Oh,
where's
no.
the reaction? Oh, great job stepping through the villagers. Going to be able to connect, going to be able to do more damage than he would have otherwise.
Most don't want to take that fight, but yeah, B just losing a lot more villagers there. And now King's Palace going up for Puppy Paw.
And this
Man,
is
whenever we see Puppy Paw with English, it is rough.
Yeah, he's just so good with the unit control with his longbows. I feel like he never really gets that, you know, caught out of position with his longbow mass. And then all of a sudden he's aging up with the big mass. And this is at a point in time in the game where Wham and Puppy can clearly just continue to extend the game. Continue to slowly take good fights, efficient fights, wall up, get positioning, reinforce into more eco. Now, Wham and Puppy are both going to be 2 TC. B and Anatan both going to be sitting on 1.
Yeah, the longbows are going to get upgraded as well really, really quickly. Once you get that longbow mass up with the veterancy, like the crossbows already don't feel great here. But once it's against veterancy, it's going to be even worse.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like crossbows are that like 1 unit fits all unit.
Oh,
If you're
no,
gonna make 1 unit to make, it is crossbows. Like they feel the best. But longbows is like the perfect unit to counteract that statement.
Wham, he's going to hit Beast Gold again. Already 20 volts behind. Oh. Some control all military coming in though.
Knights continuing to step forward. Wham's there with his Camel Lancer mass, but military numbers a little bit more even than expected. Camel Lancers diving in. The longbows need to make sure to focus the crossbows. If not, again, this is actually the whole time Wham and Puppy just running away, slowly losing units.
Yeah, this was a pretty good fight for Anatan and B. They now have a military lead. B still very deep into feudal age though. Reinforcements getting picked off here. I think Anton might still be open on that wall side. No, he did manage to close up that wall.
Yep. And I think they were able to pick off maybe a few more Camel Lancers trying to run on back. Still really good pickups by Team 3 DEDA, but is it enough? They're still clearly behind a significant number. And again, the longer this goes, the worse this gets for 3 DEDA. They're down a TC each.
They are indeed, and still B only in feudal age. He's committed to making knights only at this point in time.
Committed indeed. 4 knights in queue. It's at the point too where he's making so many knights that at any point in time he could just cancel his knight queue and age up.
Yeah. Camel Lancer, he's going back over to that gold mine. And he's gonna find villagers potentially. No, it does help at the gold mine.
There's still Camel Lancers now splitting off into different spots. Going to a different gold vein right next to some walls, but Wham's economy is starting to get just as scary as Puppy Paul's now, if not scarier, because he has extra relics as well. But Puppy does have that farm transition probably fully done and just going to be that English non-stop push with now extra villagers pumping too.
A couple more knights are getting found out by the Camel Lancers, and just the Camel Lancer mass right now looking so strong. And I mean, there's no age up inside anytime soon for B. At this point in time, it looks like Anton might reach Imperial age before B gets to Castle age.
You're not wrong at all. That might just be their exact game plan. B is the one making the sacrifice. Stay feudals, just keep trying to raid, keep trying to make as many knights as possible. You're the front line, and Anatan's the back line damage.
You can only be frontline for so long until the tech advantage just becomes too big. Another fight about to happen here in the midfield. That's a big army from both sides. Are they going to be able to take the fight? I think they're going to have to. No, they're backing off for the time being. Palace of Swabia now coming in for Anatan. That is like a big investment into the Palace of Swabia at this point in time. B, he's down so many villagers. 59 for Anatan and 43 for B.
I think Swabia is a death sentence, and they are starting to push in. Wham and Puppy have the military lead. Last time we saw this fight, B and Anatan took the fight, and then they were up 20 military. And then now they're down 20 military. You can see how much this eco is now coming into play, coming online for Puppy and Wham. It's just all turning into military. They spot out the Swabia as it's being built. That's always a good feeling when you know it's coming up. You know exactly where you need to attack. Or, more importantly, you know the timing.
And now instead, they're looking to just mow over B. Because B cannot defend himself, not by a long shot.
Yeah, and those Roost Knights get shredded by those longbows.
So much additional damage coming in there. Just one volley from all the longbows is probably going to be enough in order to one-shot these Knights. And yeah, it's just a full-on dive now onto B's economy.
Yeah, and you can see, yeah, you just called it. Those knights just got a volley is taking down each of them. Every single knight that gets close just falls, and that's so many resources down the drain. B is still stuck in feudal, nowhere close to castle because of his knight queue.
Up close now, getting rushed up by Puppy Paw as well. Once again, it's always the Lombos taking the engagements against crossbow. Oh no, that's a misclick. Not an attack move, no charge coming through. Knights getting butchered, and all the Camel Lands just getting healed up by the mass of dervishes that is still there. Reinforcements getting picked off by our longbows, Aura there as well, so lots of bonus attack speed for them.
And now Puppy and Wham doing damage in the eco, having extra eco behind themselves producing. Puppy's even just taking the berries there, because why not? Even though he's English, who cares? Starting to burn down the TCs. They're diving behind, trying to find as many villagers as possible. This game is all but over. Canada wants to take back the lead 2-1. They said, no, you might have tied the series, but we want the whole entire match ourselves.
Anatan, he's putting up outposts in the base of B. He tries to get them cannon placements in, but it's too little too late. The mass of Camel Lances, 52 Camel Lances, 52 gold, like gold cavalry coming in now. They are knights, 52 knights inside of your base, and you're an H behind with half the units.
Yeah, crossbows trying to step up, trying to kite through. Surrender comes through, and Team Canada goes up 2-1.
Yeah, lead now eked out by the Canadians in this one, and B and Anaton, they gotta go a little bit back to the drawing board. It feels like a couple of times we've seen Roos now, and they try to go for the all-in into Knights, and then they miss the transition of going into Castle Age.
Well, and I feel like the big problem too is when they're going, which like I love the pro scouts play, but when they're going with the pro scouts play, then into nights, it feels like by the time the first night comes out, it's like 6:30 or 6 minutes, and then it's like, oh yeah, and Wham's already clicked up. It's like, well, now the night number compared to Camel Lancers is basically going to be even.
Yeah, indeed. And we can tell here with the military lead by Team Canada. At the beginning, it looked like Team 3 DEDA, they got a good military out, but Canada taking one good engagement after the other, getting the tech advantage behind all of that, able to take the win here.
An impressive series, though. At least it's not one-sided, which is all we can ask after 3 games. It is at least points on both sides. Free Dead able to be masters of the seven seas, but when landlocked, they feel like a pirate that's been at sea for 30 years. He doesn't know where to actually begin. He doesn't even like the feeling of what's beneath him. But this game, an interesting one. I'm kind of curious, like, where did this really go wrong, Crackety? Because it almost feels like B and Anatan are looking for that aggressive opening, their signature play style. But it seems like in these opening moves, I think you mentioned it, like Poppy Paw, not losing a single longbow, that type of player, right? It's very difficult to punish players that are almost masters of defense.
And I think in this one, it was kind of like an issue with the army composition that we had there. So we had like feudal age knights against the camel lancers, and you can't really make crossbows against longbows because you're just going to get your unit sniped out. So these engagements long term, they're just going to go really, really well for the English and IUBIT player here in this situation. I think there were a couple of ways to approach this, like either Anaton potentially making his own knights as well with the superior HRE economy. If you eke out like a knight advantage overall, we saw it earlier where B was able to surround the longbows. If there were like 5, 6 Castle Age knights from Anaton there as well, I think they could have cleaned up the army and then taken like map control for relic gathering there. This could have potentially bought B a window to go up to Castle Age behind that as well, with the high trade house, scaleless economy that way. Instead, we just got crossbows, which just don't work against the longbow spam.
I think also we got to remind you of Dabston. I mean, the Canadians really brought it in with the Dervish builds. Is it me, or does feudal healing look a little bit OP?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about at the beginning of that game about Roost Knights on why they were underwhelming, and Crackety hit the nail on the head. It's like they don't have that healing. Any type of healing, whether it's the dervishes, whether it's a king, whatever, or chivalry, anytime there's extra healing involved, you're able to pull back a big mass after a fight, and then 10 units go back to full. It's way too much value.
It's kind of crazy, actually, Crackety. It's almost like we forgot for a little bit how ridiculous feudal healing could be. But then when we have flashbacks to 2021, there's a word herbal medicine echoing in my brain. Delhi, you remember those days, right? It's almost like it's coming full circle. Not as ridiculous as back then, but still just as scary.
Yeah, in general, having that ability to heal just comes in so clutch in many situations. Like we see it built in into the French, where whenever they have like a knight surviving on just one hit away from death, you patch that boy back up. You just garrison him inside of his TC. Make sure you don't use him for a little bit. 2 minutes later, you look at your TC. You got a fresh knight there, very strong. So instead of like losing a unit, you keep it. It's a +1. You get another unit.
I mean, HP as a resource is underrated, truly. I was just thinking back actually to that game too, Dabston. When I was sitting there watching that on the sideline, I remembered something in one of the semi-public discords. Is there was a bit of conversation between Cat and Wham, and I'm going to child friendly this. Cat basically said he fluffed him up on water in Wololo. So seems like the substitute of Cat on there was very much anticipated. I think actually Cat has been one of the people most vocal about the idea that he wants to see more water maps in these tournament pools.
I know Blade is just sitting over there cringing in chat right now when he hears that because he is one of the biggest advocates on the opposite side. And I think most most of these high elo, high level pros lean to the side of they want less water. They would some of them like don't sign up for tournaments if there's too much water. It gets that bad with how some people hate it. So I it's crazy how different some people can be.
Well, we've been reasonable, right? We've given a little splash of water on this one. I mean, Crackly, is that going to be enough to give a taster for free data? Because I think we're looking at this, it's 2-1 in favor of Canada. It's not the free data can't deliver, but based on what we've seen this series collectively, what needs to change?
I think they really need to change their approach to when they start aggressing sometimes. Like so far they played very, I want to say like army heavy, like all in heavy in situations where their opponent has similar military count but is also scaling better as the game goes on. So they kind of need to find their own way of scaling better into these games while keeping their military count higher. I think that's probably gotta be what they're going for here, and I think they got a good civilization for that with the Delhi, where you're able to just passively scale with your upgrades. That's a great way to do that. And John also has great passive scaling, especially in a map like Himeyama, getting the potential for traders in, and then also getting a great discount on your units.
What do you think, Dabston? Delhi just going to be unstoppable today?
I mean, that's the way we've been seeing it over and over. It's they force the opponent to respect their feudal age, and then all of a sudden it's this standoff. Both players have, 30 units, 40, 50, 60 units, and then all of a sudden Delhi ages up and it's like, and all these techs are in. Oh, and now we lose. They're pretty hard to stop. So the question is can Team Canada make sure to put a damper on that Delhi earlier on?
Yeah, I guess also, can they be a little bit flexible in how they approach it? I mean, I'm trying to think. I don't think Paul Wham really have been doing many minework builds for a while. So usually Ark and Lover. It's funny because on the other side, Free Data almost always go in the minework. So we'll have to see. Maybe that's a way that they could kind of have that pressure in the feudal age. Otherwise, they're going to have to camp and wave at each other from afar because we've got two of the biggest bullies coming up in the hands of Free Data, John and Delhi. It's time to take the Himeyama for game number 4.
All right, let's jump right into that one. Game number 4. We got Puppy Paw playing as the Mongols, Wham playing as the HRE, Dark Age Barracks, already being built, Anatant in the red playing as the Delhi, and B playing as Jean d'Arc. He's the Knight player once again in this one.
Yeah, so are we about to just see like some double up on some Dark Age aggression from both Puppy and Wham?
Could be. I mean, both players just going for that absolute mass of Spearmen. There's potential for that.
Yeah, I mean, it feels weird, but it also feels like it would also make sense in a way, especially with, seeing the HRE being the one to already drop the barracks and not the Mongol one makes me think it would be that way. But maybe Wham just says, "All right, my
okay.
spears are faster than yours. You can just go on up. You can go ahead and get the quicker feudal."
Yeah, Puppy Paw, he's already got all the gold that he needs for age up. He's already at 200 gold. He's already done with that.
And
That's
I
kind of
guess,
funny.
yeah, I guess that is going to be the exact game plan over there. I think he killed a sheep next to the gur next to the gold, so he's just saving some walking time on those villagers that were on gold too.
Yeah, 2 spearmen already out, running across the map. Is there a villager following that one up, I wonder? Because I think there's a villager moving across the map as well, so we could be seeing an outpost there as well. I wonder if B deletes his mining camp just because, like, if you see this, you're like, oh, wait, is that Mongols? No, it's HRE. Okay, no, he doesn't delete his mining camp.
I love that he just fights us with JD. She's super tanky. She's fine with taking these trades early on, just allowing him. He wants to get enough for one night at least, which is one drop off all these vills, and I think he got enough. Yep. 4 more.
Yeah, it does have enough. Age up should be coming in soon-ish as well.
And Dome of the Faith is on the way for Anatan. Deerstone's on the way for Puppy Paw. So like we said, that timing, Puppy Paw is not doing the typical Mongol tower rush. He's just doing the Mongol, I'm going feudal age quick.
Yeah, Deerstone's coming in. Wonder if this is just gonna be like, oh my god, okay. Look at the stone that Puppy Paw has. He's been investing his stone just elsewhere. He's been double producing villagers.
Yeah, because obviously being Mongols, you usually start behind about half a villager, and now you can see that Puppy Paw, not only is he even, you'll see him actually jump ahead a little bit here off of the villager timing. Nice friendly sheep drop off to the HRE player as well.
He takes one back. No, I don't mean to give you that many. I gotta live out here as well.
And the
John
outpost
Wemke.
will finish. Spears,
Yeah.
that's a little too close
Oh,
for
a
comfort.
little bit overzealous.
No.
No garrison though, so no spearman goes down. There's still a gold in the back, and if Jean just reaches level 2, like there's no way for Wham to deny the gold access on the back gold with just spearmen.
Yeah. I mean, this is now the point where what do you do if you're B? What's your next steps here now? And we've seen this both times Wham's played Himeyama. It's Dark Age Spearman. After you have a decent little mass, he goes and builds a dock as well.
Yeah, this happened earlier as well in the set against elephants. This gets spotted out though by Anaton, so at least their information is out there.
And Scout trying to do what he can to be annoying, but not really going to do anything in the longer term runs of this game.
Yeah, the dog definitely is going to go up. Wham behind this has a lot of villagers on gold, but I think this is mostly just going to be for upgrades. He still has a lot of villagers. Well, not really upgrades. He's still in Dark Age. He needs the gold just to be able to go up now.
Oh, and one of those.
Yeah, only one spear.
Yep. Shivs get pulled out. Spear goes down to about a quarter health. But now this is one where you can kind of bait and switch sometimes. You can see Puppy Paw has left that outpost initially. Or Wham, sorry, has left that outpost initially, and no one's there. B needs to pull, react, and go burn the outpost down. There's no one there to defend it.
He could do it. Doesn't go for it at the moment, though. Dawn's still not level 2 yet. If you had her at level 2, that would be the perfect opportunity to move out with her as well. Get a cleave in on all of those spearmen. Osman needs to be careful. Looks like he invested the gold into a wheelbarrow instead of a knight.
Able to reallocate those villagers quicker, move out to that gold quicker per se, or do some different things. And villager from Wham's coming back. He wants to make sure that outpost stays up. Might want to double down, build another outpost.
Yeah, in like typical fashion of how these sets have been going today, we're now seeing Mongol Pro Scout as well.
Yeah, why not? And great body blocking by Puppy Paw with the con here, making sure JD isn't able to close the gap quicker and get another spear killed. Anatan was coming to try to help with his own spears, ran into the outpost.
There's no archer clip coming in yet, so maybe these spearmen can get a pick up on... There's the Wham wall. Can get a pick up on that dog, but doesn't look like they're moving towards that.
Nope, not yet. Looks like, I think they want to just, B is able to move back to that goal, but it looks like Anatan still wants to kind of maybe just group together with B and have a timing where they push and kill this tower together.
Potentially, but I'm not sure if that's really worth it right now, as B does have access to gold. Pro Scouts is getting spotted out. So if the spearmen move over here, could potentially stop some of that. Not moving towards it, though. Instead, we're now seeing a dive onto the outpost. Double scholars there as well. No outpost in placement.
And Scholars should be able to heal this on up, but one of the Scholars about to get sniped out. Oh my god, it kills. It's dead. And now the other Scholar's going to start getting focused. Anathan needs to pull that back.
Scholar is
Oh, this is so bad.
Oh, that hurts. That hurts. Still has 5 Scholars. So not the worst, but definitely not good for him at that point in time.
Yeah, it feels bad just knowing that if he had kind of just played that a little differently, could have probably gotten out with little to no casualties there. We got some Wham walls coming down. Not the typical 4 minutes. We had 740 is when he's finishing these walls on up.
Yeah. Archer range is now getting put up as well, so we're going to be seeing Wham transitioning into a lot of archers next. Beautiful Archon spot for him, and yeah, Puppy Paw, as expected, is just going to be massing up those Kashyyyks now.
Indeed. B making sure to defend that gold location until the first outpost goes up. But with how many villagers are over there, he's going to need more than just one outpost. And Puppy Paw and Wham have grouped together, and I think they want to dive this location as one. And we're seeing it now. Villagers slow to react.
Not gonna make it out alive. For the most part, one villager looks to be going down here. Nope, lives as well.
He lives, and the knight is going to live, and a lot of these spears get taken down. They're overcommitting. One knight does end up falling. JD, though, soaking some XP during all of this.
Yeah, and there's still no archership coming in. The dock is going down. That's a lot of idle villagers here in a little bit, or rather idle fishing ships. And it doesn't feel good to have idle fishing ships because you're always going to get the idle villager, idle eco unit reminder going on, unless you delete them.
And just now got the galley out, or in queue, I guess I should say, and it gets killed before. Then JD about to get taken out. Gets a little bit of XP before falling, though, which, you know, it could be worse. At least Keshik fell before she died and got the XP for it, too.
Second side has been captured. First one did get decapped behind all of that. Keshiks. One is going to go down, the other one very low health, so Chase is going to continue, and Wham, rather Puppy Paw, is just going to distract now with the weak one. Going to pull him aside. Sacred Side, probably going to get decapped as well.
Got taken, at least, so a little bit of gold trickle, but Scholar will fall for it.
It's 200 food that's about to come back in for Puppy Paw again, once that dock goes up.
Yeah, really needs that. Or for Wham. Wham only has 4 villagers on food without those fishing boats, so really kind of doesn't have the eco behind this that you would expect as far as the food goes, but makes sense because he's mainly producing archers.
Spearmen not gonna take the greatest engagements here, are gonna at least pick off one of the Keshiks there. But now big infantry mass from Wham approaching the base of Anatund. He's gonna have to be careful there. Needs to pull the villagers back.
Woodline villagers are getting pulled back, are getting focused, though. Archers, as they're starting to get produced, are getting taken out. And Anatan just hasn't been able to start producing that archer number like he needs to yet. Was just slow to make archers.
Yeah, behind that, I mean, Wham, with the HRE, with the bonus economy that he gets on water there, just able to make so many units. And this economy is going to last him until that wood line right to the right side of his Archon runs out, which is going to happen very soon. But until then, like, his wood income is going to be absolutely massive.
Yep. We're seeing Puppy Paw trying to burn down the wall. B pulls some villagers on over to heal it up and sends knights that way. And Puppy Paw has to run on away. B's knight number up at 8. Meanwhile, Puppy Paw has 12 Keshiks and 4 more in queue.
Yeah, it is a lot at this point in time. A little juke around there from Puppy Paw. Ooh. Looks like there's a pause. We do have an in-game pause at the moment, so looks like there is a pause going on here right now. Gonna give the players some time to sort things out. Maybe a hotkey bug, maybe something else going on.
It could
Sometimes you can have
anything.
It could be anything. You know, sometimes when you use a wireless mouse and you don't get a reminder, oh man, I forgot to plug my mouse back in.
Or, you know, it could be like a crash and...
We're actually getting confirmation here. It looks like it was a crash and a victory has been awarded for Team Canada here.
Indeed, you are correct. Team Canada gets the dub as B crashed, and unfortunately just not in a good enough position to call it, you know, had enough in that game to award just the game to the Canadians. So unfortunate there for Team 3 DEDA, but Canadians now go up another game, 3-1.
Oh man, looking at that military graph, it would have been tough for them to come back in this one. Yeah, okay. Looking at the stats here, we can kind of like understand the admin decision behind that. Team Canada, 5,000 more resources. Like that's kind of absurd. 33% more resources. At that point in time, like there is an incredible lead there that realistically, this game was probably going to go Team Canada's way.
Yeah, and I mean that's one where this early on in the game to have that many more resources is crazy. If if this is a 30-minute game and we're talking 5,000 more resources, yeah, whatever. We're talking about a 12-minute game, under 12-minute game, and that's 5K more resources. And it was just, gonna continue to get worse. It shows you the power too of the chapel and just having that 40% extra eco.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, having this much more eco, this much more military out on the map as well, that's kind of tell a pretty big story. And it looks like we're gonna be going over to Koger now. 3DEDA, they're really gonna have to pull everything now because Canada is now on match point with this.
Yep, match point indeed, but there's water involved here, and we saw that the last main water map, which I wouldn't call this a main water map, was when 3DETA was able to take out Team Canada. So let's see if they got some interesting strategies for Logger, can change up some game plans, can get Wham and Puppy on the back foot and not make them feel comfortable.
Indeed, looking at the replay here, I mean, a couple of mishaps, right? Like the scholars going down there for Anaton, losing both the scholars, at least able to take the outpost down. But at this point in time, like, um, at this point in time, it didn't really matter. Like B was already cemented on the outpost and gold in the back, or was about to, at the very least. Like he had that position pretty much secured. It didn't really achieve a lot there, I want to say, burning that outpost. I think in these situations, better to just get an outpost, rush an outpost up on another gold, get your gold in there. Good play here from B as he managed to secure his villagers. Spearmen do get sniped by the TC.
And I feel like at
John
that
also
point,
gonna live.
you just mentioned, just go build an outpost on another goal. We just see an outpost on another goal. There wasn't really a huge need to burn down the outpost. I really think the opportunity that B missed was when we saw the 5 spears go to the other goal when he first moved out. He could have moved out with the food villagers under the TC, done a quick burn on the initial outpost, and then he would have had gold close to the TC, nice, safe, and secure.
Indeed, and looking at that, we still don't have the. It's gonna be a little bit longer until we're getting our draft going for Koger. So that's gonna be our 5th map in the series here.
Yeah, now we're getting some updates on the Civ picks, the Civ draft here in just a little bit. You can see that the players are drafting as we're speaking here now. Oh my gosh. And I'm kind of wondering what your picks here are on this map, as Team Canada doesn't have Japan, but I would expect maybe Team 3DETA to have Japan in their Civ pool, in their choices. I feel like that's always kind of one of the picks. They also haven't used a UBIDs yet, so I could also see that as an option too.
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of civilization picks here that could be picked. Ayubits as well can be very, very good. They do work nicely on these hybrid maps as well, with the potential for the Desert Raiders if you get them out in mass. Definitely a lot of options to go for, but it looks like we do have a little bit of downtime here. So in the meantime, I just want to once again, big shout out to all of you guys for watching, helping us support EGC TV and these tournaments. We heard it earlier, there are a lot more tournaments coming in 2025 from EGC TV here for Age of Empires 4. Not just that, but we know of a lot of other people that are also organizing a lot of events for Age of Empires 4. I believe there's like, I don't think this is a secret. I think we haven't talked about it a couple of times. Like there are lands in the making. Killer Pigeons is hosting a lot of tournaments. So there is a lot of stuff coming in 2025. And you guys, you're the reason why all of this is possible. You guys supporting the scene, the community, and all of these tournaments as they're going on. So thank you guys so much for being here. And it looks like our draft is slowly but surely finalizing.
Yeah, we're going to have Byzantine and English versus French. Here we go. No. We will get the rest of the updates here in just a little bit. But yeah, you just kind of mentioned the pro scene has a lot of excitement on the horizon. There's just so many tournaments, so much buildup, and not just the pro scene. Even if you're trying to be one of these up and comers, there's a lot of other events, or sign up for these bigger events and try to give yourself a shot, get some practice in against the pros, watch some replays, and just continue to get some games in.
Indeed, and now we can see draft finalized. Civilizations for Canada are gonna be French, Delhi, and China. On the side of 3DEDA, we get Byzantines, English, and Japanese.
Yeah, and
Some
so
pretty high value civs there for Team 3DEDA.
yeah, I mean, Japan, like I said, that was the civ that I expected the most. Shocked not to see a UBIDS, but English, Byzantines, they both kind of have their value. They both make sense as well. I've seen a lot of people, go grab some shoreline fish with the Byzantines as their opening here on Kurlager.
Okay, players are now going to snipe one of the civilizations from the opponent team. There we go, English getting sniped so far. I think Canada, Team Canada has always sniped English whenever it has been an option. And English so far, they've proven themselves to be a very, very strong civilization in the hands of Team Canada. I don't think I've seen Team Canada lose a game yet with English.
No, and it's really been in the hands of Puppy Paw. It's just the mass longbows, and it's the unit control that he has. And so he's like, look, I've been dominating with English. I'm not letting anyone else touch English. Snipes it on out. So now we'll be seeing Byzantine Japan, which Japan, they are all about getting to castle. That is the whole entire game plan there, which Kurlager is a great map for them to do it on. They kind of have the fishing to either cause some distraction or give themselves some extra eco.
Yeah, Byzantines there as well. Byzantines in Japan, I'm wondering, like right now they did snipe out French, so in Feudal Age, there's not going to be any armored knights coming in for Team Canada. How are they going to work around that, I'm wondering? Like, Mass Gazi Raiders is nice, but if we're getting to the point that Mounted Samurai get onto the map, that still feels like a situation where you definitely want to have some sort of knight unit. Not that knights are good against Mounted Samurai, but at least it's something. Like French knights, you would get like Royal Bloodlines in Castle Age, and then you can actually take fights against Mounted Samurai, but not getting that, you're gonna have to wait until Castle Age and get some elephants in potentially.
Yeah, and even still, when you get elephants in, the Mounted Samurai can still run around them pretty well. So you need elephants and walls if you're going to go with elephants. So it's a lot of different things that have to add up. And so my game plan would be, do not let Japan get to Castle Age. And if they do, don't let them get gold. And that's exactly what we saw Team 3DEDA do earlier. So let's see if, maybe the Canadians have a game plan to do that exact thing against them.
Indeed. Gonna be a little while longer until we're going into our potential match point for Team Canada. Waiting for the lobby to come up. Just gonna be a while longer. In the meantime, chat, how are you guys doing today? Hope you're all having a pleasant Sunday afternoon or evening, maybe Sunday morning, whatever time it is in your time zone. What time is it for you, Dabson?
It is 3:30. So, a little bit in the afternoon. Starting to get closer to evening. Starting to get pretty hungry since haven't eaten since before this in bright and early in the morning.
Yeah, it's 10:30 now for me, PM. We're like day is pretty much over at this point in time. Now we do have a countdown, so roughly 3 minutes, and then we're gonna be able to jump into Koger.
Exactly. So not too long at all. And so I don't think we will be seeing the Gulp build because kind of like we saw Byzantines earlier today, paired with a Civ that I would say is better at doesn't have as many things in their wheelhouse. So Japan has to go Fast Castle, has to go Mounted Samurai, whereas Byzantines has a lot of other strings elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, never underestimate the Gulp. If it comes in, we might be seeing like a pretty quick game here for Team 3DEDA, one way or the other.
That is the thing about the Gulp is the longer the game goes, the worse it gets. So it's that timing push, that timing like, hey, we're either gonna win or it's game. And at this point, match point, what do you lose? You're gonna lose anyways. You might as well, go all to the wall and go for it all.
Yeah, go ham or go home. That could be the plan here. But Byzantines and Japan, definitely some high-value civilizations on Koger that we're going to be seeing here. Like getting longbows in as the Byzantines, or maybe even javelin throwers. If you get javelin throwers in, you got a very good unit to combat water with land military. That makes it so that if your opponent invests into fishing, you're going to have a very good tool to take that down from land.
Yeah, I always feel like fishing on this map is like, it's such a bait. Like you want some, but you don't want to sit there and have like 7, 8, 9 fishing boats. It just doesn't pay off. You end up running out of that shoreline fish. I feel like it's usually like 3 or 4 is kind of like the sweet spot that you go with. You're like, hey, I just got a little bit of extra umph with my eco. Longer this goes just means you're going to have, more military units, more eco upgrades, whatever you want to use those extra resources over that time for.
Indeed. Less than a minute now remaining until we're going into that map, Koger. It's an interesting one. Every time I look at Koger, I'm like, okay, this map is huge. Like in 2v2s, it doesn't at all feel like a normal 2v2 map. I feel like that map is more like a 3v3 map size-wise. Like it is a very, very big map. Lots of opportunities for you to get some raids in on opposite sides and just run around the map with cavalry.
Yeah, it's I think it came from AOM is where Age of Mythology is where the map got snagged from. I think was Avely the creator of this one. Oh, it was another car. Okay, just all the maps are Avely's
Are you
been
making all of them?
Yeah, Avely's been slacking over here. So
Damn.
shout out to Karyu again, but enough of that. We are into the potential match point of this tournament. 3DB and Anatan are down 1-3. They're spawning in as Japan and Byzantines. And Puppy Paw and Wham playing China and Delhi up 3-1.
All right, and looks, are we getting like a double dock opening here potentially? Wham still on the straggler tree, even after his first drop off. At the same time, Puppy Paw already opening up with that dock. Even if you're going for dock play, yeah, there we go. Dock is also coming in for Wham. So double dock play here early on. B also opening up with dock. And Anatan, he as well with the Byzantines. I mean, you are getting oil in from fishing ships. It's just not a lot, and it is very, very little, but you are by definition getting olive oil.
Yeah, it kind of surprises me that every single player goes for a dock opening. I feel like a lot of times when we've seen this, it's been a change of pace a bit. It's been, not always the same old, but Puppy Paw, there we go. Ship coming on out. And everyone going for some early fishing.
Yeah. It's just going to be shoreline fish, so no insane gather rates on there, but every little bit counts, every little bit helps you out as the game goes on. Wham. He did make his dock, yeah, there we go, fishing ship just now came out. It's a little bit difficult playing as the Delhi when it comes to like min-maxing your build order on water, because you still want to get all these free upgrades, right? So you do still want to get that mill in nice and early. And on this map, you actually spawn with a lot more straggler trees than is usual.
Yeah, Wham was also a little bit delayed on his. He took a little bit of a trek with his villager. You can see his dock location more in the mid-map. Remember, he is Delhi, so those fishing boats can shoot a little bit more defensive. So he can be a little bit more aggressive with his dock. And B knows that. You can just see a little bit of some wall segments coming down.
Yeah, a little wall from B here. Wants to make sure that these fishing ships don't suddenly get pulled and cause some havoc in his fishing economy. We'll have to be careful, though. These fishing ships, they do have a bite.
Oh, villager.
He's gonna go down. You can't dodge them anymore. Yeah, they changed that. You can't dodge these arrows anymore. So now Villager already down for B early on in this game.
And that's like later in the game, villager loss doesn't matter too much. This early on, villager loss is so crucial. Not only that, the wall isn't finished. So his whole idea of thinking he's gonna maybe have a safe fishing eco thrown right out the window and down the drain.
At the same time, I mean, the fishing ships from Wham, they didn't go all the way back to their original fishing spots, so they're gonna be a little bit less efficient. At the same time, there's also a wall coming out from Wham. So he's just gonna put a wall right next to B's wall.
Puppy coming to defend his villager with a scout. It's funny, like you think that, oh, just keep focusing the villager, you'll end up killing. No, the scout will go down before this villager dies, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be 10 more hits, and I think it's only gonna be like 4 more hits that the scout needs to kill Anaton's scout. So yeah, you gotta retreat from that. But the villager is low and could potentially be sniped at some point in the future. Imperial Academy now coming in from Puppy Paw behind this, and Koger Township is going to be the answer from B.
Yeah, and wall's still not going to be able to be finished, so maybe Koger Township can allow B to, retake some map control for himself, but those Delhi ships can easily, snipe down those shinobi decently.
Another wall coming in now from Anaton as well. Nice berry spot. Gets the double
Oh my
berry spot there with the
gosh.
Grand Winery.
Beautiful, beautiful location.
Imperial Academy now finishing up, so the first couple of Imperial officials should be making their way onto the map very, very soon here. Wham not yet aging up. Delhi on water is a little bit slow, and he did idle his fishing ships for a little bit, right? And they're not the most efficiently positioned right now, taking the far away shoreline fish. And looks like B managed to get that wall up in the end.
Yeah, feeling a little bit safer now about his fishing, and that's where I would expect B to try to just make a few shinobi and then vault himself up to Castle Age with the shinobi as a distraction, forcing more reaction, forcing idle time, forcing damage, all the sort.
Dome of Faith gonna be the name of the game here. As we pretty much do you even see Tower of Victory anymore?
No, it's not that Tower of Victory is a bad landmark. It's just Dome of the Faith provides too much value to pass up on.
Yeah, exactly.
But the first
I think
shinobi...
the only player that I still see making Tower of Victory is Firehick whenever he streams, and I think it's just out of spite.
He's like, look, I'm gonna keep making it until it gets buffed or Dome gets nerfed.
Something like that. Outpost getting rushed up now from Wham on the gold. It's a little bit interesting to see Delhi with so many villagers on gold. Maybe it's just going to be a normal fast castle age from Delhi without even relying on the sacred sites. We do have 2 of those, but they are on the water, so they're pretty easy to contest with ships.
I feel like you don't get that. It's not like the typical Delhi castle, though. You're only going to have 1 scholar. I mean, maybe he's going to make a few more scholars on the way up. But the techs aren't going to be coming in at, they're not going to be coming in a minute and 45 seconds and, a minute and 12. It's going to be like 3 minutes for a lot of the technologies.
Yes, but Elephant's baseline strong. No need upgrades.
Okay. Fishing starting to be focused by those shinobi. Puppy Paw's dock going to constantly be sabotaged here by these shinobi. So, pretty good job, at least forcing some idle time. 4 spears from Puppy. That's not a fight you can take. These shinobi do so much damage against melee units.
Yeah, not at all. That just straight up doesn't work. One of the spearmen is going to find out just how much damage they do. And we are getting the Shunshin in. Able to get 1 hit each, but yeah, now the archer is coming in and seeing a Barbican getting dropped as well. Wham, really close to being able to age up. B as well. Should be able to age up soon. That's going to be interesting. I think we're actually just going to start seeing unupgraded elephants coming in here for Wham.
Yeah, Anatan does have a few spears. Maybe going to go try to deny that Barbican. A few spears are there for Puppy as well. I don't think the shinobi are close enough to help on out, but the villagers, they decide to pull out some shivs. A few more spears on the way. 1 vill does go down for Puppy. And the Barbican is still being delayed.
Yeah, more the Midnight running around now. 2 of the spearmen are completely distracted here. Scout gets taken down, and now the archer is getting pulled forward here. That was another villager goes down. Great picks here so far.
Yeah, Anatan really getting a leg up here, feeling really good about, causing some delay and causing some damage in Puppy's eco. Not to mention B has been able to take down this dock and
the
not lose a shinobi.
The shinobi are going to be able to just kill that one
Archer.
archer as well. No big problem for them. Lombo's now also doing damage here.
Speaking
and
of big problem, Anatan has a mass, like a mass.
Yes, and now even the elephants, like, what good is one elephant against 15 Libitinae? Probably still very good, but not as good as it could be. Astronomical Clock Tower, Puppy Paw getting the needle in, throwing the like, being able to thread the needle in there. But now,
Gold starting to be
there's
the
not
nine.
enough gold. He doesn't have enough gold for elephants. He's gonna have to make knights.
Yep, one knight in queue now.
And you don't want to make knights against Mounted Samurai. They're coming in already.
Longbow stepping up. They're going to start taking down the Chooks. So good trade still again so far from Anatan. Gold being denied. Wham does have a back gold, but still it's going to be hard to move on to the back gold just with the way that the layout is and the map control that B and Anatan are going to have. Like you said, Mounted Samurai starting to roam.
Yeah, this time around, like 3 DEDA are looking much stronger here in this early part of the game. They got the military advantage, now able to snipe one of the scholars as well as he tries to bring a relic back home. And Anatan, he's got a very good army mass here, able to just make use of the berries that he's been able to gather. A lot of olive oil that came in for him, so now he's got a very good army going for him. And are they going to just dive the base here? There's no villagers under TC. Nothing at all to protect that TC, so now you can just run through. Villagers, they're going to want to run to the TC. That's not going to happen, though.
Yeah, Mounted Samurai are here as well as a Bannerman. Villagers trying to get back to the TC, which they will be able to get to, but not before taking a little bit of damage.
Maybe Sabotage on the main TC could be coming in as well. There are Shinobis there. No Sabotage coming in. Unfortunately, would have loved to see a Sabotage on the main TC. Instead, Sabotage is going to be coming in on the stables. That is a great play.
Wham's whole entire economy is idle. This is what happens when you both go greedy. They both went to Castle Age. Meanwhile, Anatan, he's like, I'll stay feudal. I'll keep massing units and have more and more units. Siphon being dropped. They're ready to start taking down buildings with the economy damage that they're doing.
Indeed, and now it's starting to get really, really rough. Samurai, well, not Samurai, Shinobi are starting to get thinned out a little bit here now by the Jigunu and the archers. Still, economy getting idled out by the Mounted Samurai. Now double Siphon coming in. And all the infantry that Puppy Paw makes is just going to get so much, like, devalued by those longbows from Anatan.
Yeah, and I love the focus. Like Wham, he goes fast castle. They know he can't get the upgrades as quick because he went so greedy with his fast castle. Isn't going to be able to mass up elephants anymore. Fully denied off of gold, except for the few he was able to circle back behind Puppy's base. So very limited on what he can do. And so that Mounted Samurai number is just so key right now. Going to be so hard to take down the Mounted Samurai on the side of 3 DEDA.
Here we go, Siphon doing a lot of damage to that Barbican, and now once again gold is being idled out here. Looks like Whammy's trying to trade out for some resources with the market. Nest of B is in queue for Puppy Paw, really wants to get some siege out now. This is not looking good for them. Mounted Samurai, they do have that deflective armor, could take a fight. A charge trade there. They wanted to.
Wants to just fight with Anatan's army as well. Wham overstepping a bit, wants to take the fight, but doesn't want to take the fight with Anatan's army there. And the Barbican gets taken down. Nest of Bees trying to step up, trying to do damage, immediately starting to get focused. Berry villagers all headed home. And now Puppy Paw's the one who has his whole eco idled. Perfect surround there by 3DB. He's continuing to push forward, continuing to press into eco, and Puppy Paw is in some trouble. He's needing help from his brother. He's asking for help, and those villagers are falling, and they call it game over. 3 DEDA take game number 5.
And this is how it needs to go. This is the way for 3 DEDA to still climb back in this series, in this set. Now getting another point on the board. 2 more, and they're back in it.
What a great game plan, perfectly executed there by B and Anatan. Just we're able to kind of diminish Puppy Paul's early push. Barbican got delayed a little bit, and Wham and Puppy got punished for both going castle at a very similar timing.
Yeah, looking at the stats here, total resources gathered. I'm not sure if olive oil really counts into that one, but overall, a lot more resources over on the side for 3 Data, and they didn't just invest that into the age up; they invested that into military units. That was the main difference here. 2 players just going up to castle age. You don't have enough units to defend against the Byzantine flood that's coming your way.
Yep. They both focused on Puppy Paw. Puppy Paw, you can clearly see the economy count. There's a red line that is significantly below the other three, and that was exactly the game plan from Anatan and B. So getting closer to tying up the series, but still have a ways to go. Down 2-3. And will we see a potential game 7 matchup down the road?
Yeah, I mean, all the options are back on the table now. It felt like 3 Data potentially like after getting a loss like in the previous game, it can hurt your mental. 100%, that can happen. But it looks like they managed to recuperate and now getting a great win here up against the Canadians. So they're probably back in it now.
Yeah, really fun game to watch there. Really good, like I said, good execution. You could see first they focused Wham, then they started diving Puppy Paul's base and just forced the Canadian Bros to call it quits. Just really, really good game there. And that is the last map with any water at all. It is only pure land maps left.
Only land maps from here on out. I mean, this was just absolutely brutal. The way that B managed to just surround that nest of bees there, Puppy Paw trying to retreat back into the choke point, trying to just make use of the repair and try and like keep that nest of bees alive. Not being able to do so though, and in the end, it is going to be a victory now for 3 Data. So now we're 2-3, still match point for Team Canada, but 3 Data once again, like they're getting thrown the lifeline now. They're still in this series.
Yeah, third little game under 14 minutes. You can just see it. They did that much damage that quick. There was no coming back, no end in sight. But now it's a classic 2v2 team matchup. It's Gorge, which I always love watching the Gorge game plans. It's another map that these all-in strategies can work very well on.
Yeah, civilization that I like to see on Gorge that we've seen a couple of times recently. It's Malians on Gorge, so maybe we can see Mali coming out from the Canadians all 3 Dead. I know the Canadians, they like Mali. They like the cow boom. They're not gonna go for anything unorthodox like Firmba Garrison. They just see cattle, they see cow, and there's a little smile forming on their lips.
That is not Observer Cow either. That is Molly Cow. And
Oh no, I
speaking
mean
of,
both.
oh, and sure enough, Canada has picked Molly. Roos to go with it. First civ we see from 3 Deta is French, which, if you've noticed so far, every time they've been picking French, it's kind of been sniped out for the most part. So let's see if that continues to be the path that Canada is keeping on. Just continue to snipe French every time it gets picked.
French, China, and Ibid. So it's an interesting army composition here. But Malians, Mali are good. Mali are a good civilization, and you can't take that away from them at the moment. Like they can do this really, really safe boom up where they can just gradually choose just how much they want to invest. They don't have to like balls to the wall invest 750 resources to get the TC up. No, they can be like, now I invest 100 resources into the ranch. Now 90 into a cow. Another one, and another one. And they can just ramp that up as more like in like these little increments. That's what makes Mali, like the Malian boom, so dangerous. It's very hard to it's very hard to stop that boom and get a correct timing in.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll see if Mali will even be allowed, as we still have the snipes, and French is allowed this time. It's going to be Chinese sniped on out, and Roos does not want to be allowed either. So those are the two options. We're going to have Biz and Molly versus French and Ayubids.
Seeing how Roos hasn't really performed that well anyways today, I'm a little bit surprised that it's getting sniped out here over a Malian snipe. Now, not only do you have one civilization that can make javelin throws, you got two civilizations.
You're not wrong there, but you at least have had a lot of French snipes, and maybe that's where they've done some scouting. They know B or Anna, probably B wants to be on that French civilization, so might be going with the pro scouts and a bunch of royal knights out.
Yeah, I mean, the snipe on China does kind of ruin the army composition a little bit, I want to say, for 3DEDA. Like, now, Ayubids is going to have to go mass archers. Not that it's necessarily, like, that bad of a thing for them, but it's definitely not the prime situation that I want to see themselves in. I think, like, if it was a French band, then you're going to be very fine because you get, like, the infantry civ with China, and you can just fast castle with the Ayubids. That's not going to be the case here. Instead, we're just going to see a lot of knights, maybe some desert raiders, and then probably eventually transition into archers, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, that's one where a lot of times, I feel like the whole entire idea of this game, every time Molly gets picked in team games, I feel like it's always like, did you let the cow boom happen? If they get Grand Fulani up with the cow boom online, they just feel unstoppable. I guess that's the same for ones too, but I feel like in teams, it just kind of has this extra added effect because they never have this time where they need to make this food transition. It's always there. It's passively coming in.
Exactly. Usually in like 2v2s and in team games, you can make a lot of things happen by raiding. But now one of the players having the cow boom, like, what are you gonna raid? You gotta actually like burn down the cattle ranches. Otherwise, you're not gonna like do any real eco damage to them.
Yeah, especially on a map like Gorge, where, yeah, you got your initial resources. Yeah, you got an initial deer pack, too, that you'll see these players push into their TCs. But then after that, all the resources is outside of that initial valley. It's much, much further. And so that's where Molly has that extra added advantage.
Indeed. Now, just a little bit longer till we get the countdown. A little bit longer until we get the announcement of when this game is going to start.
Ah, exactly. It's a big day about announcements. Everyone's all about them.
Yeah. Big announcement. This is a best of 7. Did you know that?
Huh? There are 7 maps that we see as we see here in chat. Thanks, Chum. So yeah, I mean, I guess that is what makes the most sense here. But maybe we can get some games added on. Maybe we'll change the structure here at the end.
Force them to play a best of 21, or no prize money.
Or no prize. Yep. 24-hour Dabson and Crackety Cast, says Jiggly.
You gotta order me pizza then, Jiggly. There's no way I'm holding out without pizza.
And burgers.
The entire package. I heard Jiggly is rich. He can afford it.
But there we go. We finally got our countdown coming. It's 2 minutes. And this, again, we said potential match point, and now we got another potential match point here. I guess it is match point, as 3DEDA is going to have a chance to tie up the series. At the same time, the Canadian bros have a chance to send them on home, secure up the team tournament victory and the winter team championship too for themselves.
It's so rare that we do get like these high value, high production 2v2 or just in general team game tournaments. And when they come in, they always deliver. Like, I'm just looking back now at all the different sets that we had so far throughout this tournament. And man, we've had a lot of just incredible sets, one after another. 3DEDA earlier today performing incredibly in their set against Koger. That was an absolute banger. Then yesterday we had Koger against the Chimps, another banger set. There were so many great matches overall this weekend and last weekend before that, all these weekends, and this is the culmination in the end. 3DEDA versus Canada, and we are getting close to a potential, like, even... Like, now it's a match point for Canada, but 3DEDA, they're not far behind. It's 2-3. It's still anyone's game at this point in time.
And not far behind it by any means. And Gorge is a map they can make something happen. It kind of plays into their playstyle. If they have this all in timing, Mali won't have a problem getting other resources because they'll have their Cal Boom go on. But on the other side, Byzantines, yeah, they got to have this Olive Grove transition. They got to have villagers out and about a little bit more often, especially if they go castle, they're going to need their gold. So a little bit harder for Canada to go exactly with a game plan. Also, you know, wham walls on this map are going to be a little bit more difficult too. So 3
You
DEDA
already
has
know that he's just gonna wall to the cliffs in the middle. It's just gonna be a straight line. We're gonna get that straight line 2 minutes into the game.
just all the way across the map. Just a lot of
You're gonna
research.
pull
Hey,
10 villagers for that.
It is worth it. But here we go. Game number 6 is starting now. Wham and Puppy spawning in the southwestern side. They have Mali, they have Byzantine, and they are in the blue and teal color combination. On the other side, it's 3DB, it's Fox Anatan, and we have French and Ayubid's orange and red color combo.
All right, let's see how this one's gonna go. Puppy Paw with the Byzantines as well. Getting that cistern drop in nice and early. Pit mine already built on up. That's gonna be a lot of passive gold income here, as you do start with a very large gold mine here between the two players.
Yeah, and Puppy Paul made sure to not build the mining camp in the middle of the gold vein, made it to where it was, you know, off kilter to the side, allowing room for all of the houses to circle on around like you're seeing here from Wham.
Yeah, just a little bit of that extra investment, but you're just gonna get so much more gold early on. It kind of pays itself off relatively quickly. You can then go for your own pro scouts, maybe get a lot of economy upgrades in really quickly. The amount of gold that you get there, in addition to just the Manticore as well, you're gonna be like at 200 plus gold per minute just passively by the time you reach feudal age.
Yeah, it's really crazy on how much that goes. And for Mali, they can actually use that gold on a bunch of different things. It's not just, you know, I feel like a lot of civs, you get gold in feudal, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, I got all my eco upgrades, I got all my blacksmith upgrades, and now I don't have anything. Mali's like, oh, more cows and more cows and more cows.
Yeah. Wait. We're leaving the base. Where are we going? Are we going to the deer?
Deer? Whoa.
Wait, no way. No way you go out to the deer at this point in time, right? That has to be trolling.
He's going for the deer.
I don't think that's a good idea.
I'm confused, but
there's a French player.
how's his sheep situation? Maybe this is a reaction to the sheep he has.
And Anaton sees it. All right, looks like we are getting a game number 7.
Oh, you're calling that one early. Is the Gamba still open over here?
Hello, any Gambas? Oh, there's a couple seconds remaining. All right.
No. Deer even getting pushed on in, so Wham's making sure that that's some nice efficient deer gathering as well. But B, he's already building the School of Cav. It's already going to be, you know, we know knights are going to be coming and on the way soon.
Yeah, I mean, this is gonna be a rough one. Like Wham, he's gonna have to really rush up the Saharan trade network here if he wants to stay out there. But even then he has the Saharan trade network in the middle of nowhere. Maybe you can put it next to the gold mine at the top and secure that. But that's a small gold vein. Like you want to get it on the big gold veins.
Yeah. I mean, it is a good. I don't know. I don't know the game plan.
That's a quarry in the base.
Yeah.
This is very weird. That's a lot of travel time for the villagers. I'm perplexed. This is, kind of weird.
You know, we're just gonna move past it. We're gonna see how this game develops here now. French obviously slowly building up that villager lead with those passive, quicker TCs here, and more importantly, Knight should be in queue soon, but first, we know B, it's not going to be Knight. It's going to be Pro Scouts and a few Scouts in queue first.
God damn it. They saw where the villagers are.
Ah, no, let them gather the deer. Actually, go steal the deer now that we're talking about it.
Man, this hurts. They saw the villagers out there. That could have been a great night timing. Yeah, now Wham sees that that Scout just leaving that skill carry. He's gonna be like, huh, I'm gonna be
Okay.
safe.
He's
I'm
like,
not gonna
"Fine."
get punished for my greed.
Anatan went with the dervish early on. He's gonna be the aggressor. He's gonna go. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
you
know.
need military units for that. That's the archer range.
He's sitting on there with his dervish. He's making sure Wham knows that he has the vision of it, the knowledge of it. Wham actually it forces the pullback.
Oh, the aggressive dervish. The villagers are scared. They gotta run.
Yeah, too much damage. I mean, it's just the mental. They broke him.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of crazy, right? Like 2 dervishes there. You can't really take that fight with villagers. So the retreat made sense. And now we're seeing the wham walls coming in as well. Some early wham walls.
We are indeed seeing the Wham walls. Going to make that kind of middle gold vein, that wood line, a little bit safer, a little bit more secure, as obviously they scouted the archer play. And soon there should be knights in queue. Usually B kind of gets 4 scouts. I think that's kind of the number, the sweet spot for him. And then he'll start transitioning this into military with the extra deer economy behind it.
Ooh, very spoon we're getting the knight in. There we go, knight in queue. Behind this, Adjutant, he is investing a lot into archers. This is interesting that he's investing into archers, as he did go with the Dervish Ring. Kind of makes you feel like you want to like rush the age up to Castle Age at some point in order to start actually being able to take the relics. But for the moment, he's just using it to heal his units.
Yeah, well, and the Dervish have a better usage in my eyes. It allows B to be even greedier with his knights. He doesn't ever need to get chivalry early. He can just dive TCs, dive woodlines, all the sort, and then the Dervish can just heal up the knights.
Ooh. Scout gets sniped out. Unlucky. These aren't warrior pro scouts. They aren't quite as fast.
And we're starting to see Anatan move out with his archer mass a little bit. Wasn't quite in position.
Villager gets
for
scouted.
that. Villager, hello. We see you going to build that next pit mine.
There's
are we going to
over.
get a knight? Yeah, I was about to say there's a knight mid map right by the cliff. It looks like running on across. And these are not wham walls. These are puppies adding to the wham walls.
You know, it's the influence from Wham. It's kind of like it's getting to him.
He's in his ear. He's like, wall.
Man, he's in his art. He's making triple archer range. We're just getting mass javelin throws here. This range backline is gonna be crazy. And poor Adjutant making archers against this. Oh, the pit mine was completed.
That's actually
pretty
big.
bad. Yeah, no house around it means that this pit mine generates 35 gold per minute for foreseeable future. Looks like there are more villagers going over though.
Cows getting put into those ranches, more ranches being invested into. But Anatan, he's ready to start moving forward. This archer mass is not something to take lightly. And Wham knows that. He's starting to make javelins, and Puppy, he's going to have his own archers. So 2 different units that trade pretty well into regular old archers.
Yeah, not to be taken lightly, but then you realize in just like a couple of seconds, it's already going to be 10 longbows. They come in batches of 5, which is kind of insane.
Yeah, and even has a nice front line to deal with B's knights that he has out.
That's a lot of Lamitna as well. Donzo is not even needed in this one. They're the better front line here.
Oh, good brace, but Knights could continue to stay here, take the fight, and probably clear those up and go get healed up by the Dervish here.
Just gotta be careful. Don't want to lose them for sure. But yeah, just run back, heal them on up, and there we go. One of the Knights right now is getting head pats in order to go back out to die a later day.
Or never. You never know. You know, if the Dervish do their job correctly, Knights might not ever go down.
Never thought about it that way.
Anatan about to click up though, with 17 archers out onto the map already.
Was that advancement or growth? I think like against civilization like the Malians, you want to go growth. There we go.
Yeah, it was growth. Yeah, He had the full units for or full res for castle, so I assumed it was growth.
Yeah, makes a little sense, especially against a civilization that has the cow boom. You definitely do want to get your own kind of economic scaling for a window of opportunity there. I'm wondering what kind of units we're going to see. If it's just going to be like continued archer spam now from Anatend, it shouldn't be, considering just how many javelin throwers are already out on the field. Or maybe you can see a Golem play.
I mean, he's got a lot onto gold. That doesn't look like just, veteran upgrades or some eco upgrades. That looks like it might be some actual gold going into units here.
Ooh, right now, Puppy Paw walking out by himself. There is some scout action going on, though, so at least they know what's going on there with the units. Scout Gus get picked off, though, and that does mean that Puppy Paw and Wham are actually walking back now. Ooh, Knights could be getting some picks here on the javelin throwers. There aren't that many Donzos here. Isn't going to go for it, though.
God. Oh! Couple volleys of those javelins. That Knight actually is low health, B. And it gets taken down.
The Knight is going down. He wasn't one of the lucky few that live forever.
Nope, he was not. Didn't get enough head pats. Didn't get enough healing.
Dervishes are positioned at the relics, so that's something that is going to want to go for. Villagers.
These are Molly villagers. Wham doesn't even care if they die.
Not really.
But we finally see B getting a couple picks. He doesn't want to keep diving or else he will get way out of position. The walls. This is where Wham walls come into play.
He is getting some nice picks. The army is very slow at this point.
He can dive out the front side. He can dive out the front side.
B, you gotta leave.
Oh, he didn't realize there were walls.
Oh, we're gonna see continuation of the walls. Some more quick walls coming in. Indeed, they are. Actually gets another villager and doesn't lose too many knights. 2 knights, 3 knights, I think, went down. But he caused a lot of idle time and a lot of dead villagers. Wham, he is still getting up to Castle Age sometime soon here.
Yeah, that could have been a lot worse. That delays Wham's Castle Age a bit, though. You can see the gold starting to be a little bit higher. Another group broke off of B's Knights. Circle around the backside. Puppy Paw spotted it already. Villagers moving off the woodline. Villagers jumping inside the TC or running around the TC here. Knights get another villager. And should try to run on out again. As he knows there's walls now, he needs to run away.
B, what is this movement with the Knights? He's so greedy with wanting to go out the front side there. Yeah, this time he's definitely going to lose more than just 1 Knight there. 1 goes down, should be another potentially going down. There's some weak Knights there. Actually manages to still pull out with 3 out of 6 Knights that he pulled up with there. And he still has like 21 Knights in total.
And meanwhile, Anatan, he should be securing up the relics behind this. I'd be interested to see if he's up at 4, 5, or 6 or so. Nah, I still see 4 on the map, so he's only at 3, I guess. Yep, bringing the 3rd in now. Going to grab up the 4th, but he's gone Mangonel already, and his archer mass is up at 36.
Yeah, veterancy in on them as well. If he's able to get some incendiary shots on the Cattle Ranchers, that could be huge for them.
Knights trying to get picked off, but it's the Limited Nag getting picked off as there are not enough there. B deciding to take that fight, maybe get a little bit of extra damage on in, but does not want to overstay his welcome.
Yeah, it's a big army count at the moment for Wham and Puppy Paw. Second Manjanique about to come in behind this. This wall has not been finished up yet.
Looks like Royal Institute play. They're going to go for this timing again. B already has enough resources for Royal Bloodlines. So once Royal Institute finishes, 1.5 minutes is the timer that they are going to be going for.
Yeah, this time it's not looking that bad. A lot of units out on the field, and they got the value in there as well. Dervish is getting picked off, so this relic not going to go over to Anaton. Does have a good amount of relics out, though. Might want to go for a 3rd Manjanique, and there we go, 3rd Manjanique now coming in. Where's the 2nd one? I only see 1 here, and 1 being built.
There it is. Okay. It's slow. No creased axles, obviously.
We're getting some golems in as well behind all of this.
Oh, Manjanique at like 99%. There it goes. It finishes on up now.
Suddenly
First,
with 3 mangonels. That's some dangerous trades there that if you want to take a fight. I don't think you want to take the fight quite yet, though.
oh,
As you
this
want
is
to wait
one
for
where
the
it's
upgrades on Fringe.
yeah, one Manjanique, not too hard to dodge. 2 Manjaniques, a little bit harder. 3 is when you start, playing with fire. It's hard to take the fights effectively with this much infantry mass and nothing to actually dive on the siege, counteract the siege, and make the siege, move backwards and stop it from firing.
Yeah, indeed. And it's starting to get dangerous here. We're starting to see the fire projectiles, and once they get into position to get a volley onto the cattle, that's when it's starting to become really, really painful. Like, that's when Wham's food income is going to plummet.
Outpost gets taken down. They're getting close to that range we're talking about. As once the outpost fell, next is the Manticore / the cattle. They're right there.
Go for it, Anno.
And here we go.
Here it comes. The damage.
Cal, look away.
Oh, that was a ground attack. Didn't hit the cattle. Didn't attack the cattle there. No, don't look away.
Cal, look away, but don't look away. Close your eyes, but still keep watching.
More shots coming in. Cattle economy being idled. Not like that!
No one can see.
No one gets to see this game. No one will bear witness of what's happening to the cattle here.
Cattle ranches are falling, but cattle aren't dying, and that's kind of the key. He's trying to rebuild ranches behind this. They're not going to be behind the around the Grand Filani, so not as effective, and this is a lot of timing now that Wham's losing. He has 0 on food right now. So all these cattle, him losing this is so crucial.
Yeah, and there's just more and more of these veterancy, like Royal Knights coming out as well. 4th Manjanique now as well.
Villagers repairing the Manjaniques. Then they just turn back around. Just more of that damage coming on. Now it's going to be Manjaniques versus Mangonels.
This is it. The big fight's about to come through. We're even getting some cataphracts here as well. Getting treated to a little bit of a spectacle of all the possible units.
Back to regular Mangonel fire, turning back against the Mangonels. It is one where siege still matters quite a bit. Cataphracts diving on top of the Mangonels on the other side, or Manjaniques on the other side. Both the Cataphracts get focused down rather quick. There's still 3 Manjaniques alive.
There we go, the mass of archers from Anaton doing damage. Mass repair coming in.
There's not many spears here left. There's not many Donzo, not many Limitane on the front side. Yeah, it says 27.
There's some knights.
32 knights. 32 knights with royal bloodlines. Fears out of position. This is looking good for Team 3 DEDA.
And indeed, they're diving through. Wham barely has any food income at this point in time. Cataphract trying to get onto the Manjanique, but enough archers to kill that one quickly. And now the shots are coming in, the heated shots. And the cattle go down, and Wham calls it GG. We're getting a game number 7.
You gotta give the people what they want. Game number 7, indeed. We are going the distance.
And it all comes down to the deer play at the beginning, surely.
It had to be the deer play. That was the whole problem. Everything that went wrong, all because of the deer.
And just like that, Team 3 DEDA in it again completely. We're getting a game number 7. And man, Team Canada, they got to really put in their all now. They got so close to sweet, sweet victory. 3-1. And now Team 3 DEDA from the dead coming back into the series. Now 3-3.
Yep, gotta lock it back down, lock in. All the nerves are on the line. This is when you start, you start sweating a little bit more. You start getting a little bit more nervous when it comes to these plays. One play can be the whole entire tournament now.
It's crazy to think that we are actually going to be seeing that game 7. I mean, just 2 games ago, it looked so dominant from Canada that you couldn't even imagine to find yourself in this situation. But so well crafted by DEDA in these last two games to really just take that momentum forward. And I mean, just look at this game here. Iobid's once again just proving to be a backbone of it. Honestly, I feel like what we're getting here is the connection of the classic Team Civ and the new gen Team Civ in this game, Crackety. Iobid's a French.
Yeah, it's just providing so much pressure with the Mansionings. It's like the perfect unit to have up against the Malians. Once that cow boom goes up, you get that heated shot in, and you're able to just absolutely annihilate the cattle ranches.
Yeah, and what do we think of this now, Dabston? Because, like I said, after that game 4, you're like, wow, this is gonna be a wash, Canada. There's no stopping them. But there is such a thing as momentum. There is such a thing as a disruption of that. Does it almost feel like Canada got leg swept and have been scrambling since?
I mean, yeah, a little bit there. And it is one that I will say the maps and the civs definitely played into what 3DEDA wanted to do. It's that kind of all-in play style. They got the civs that worked really well for it. And guess what? Last map, kind of playing into that again in a sense here.
Yeah, and now they've got that momentum, that confidence apparently is surging because we are seeing Malians coming out. Apparently, a statement here, Crackety. Hold on a sec. Let's show you how this is actually played. Crackety.
Oh, that's what you meant. I thought for a
Yeah.
second we're gonna see like a video of how that is actually gonna be played. I was like, wait, what? We're seeing
No,
something
you're
here?
meant to be able to tell. You're the
How-
highest ranked person on
but-
this call.
All right, how's this one gonna go? So we got China and Malians, two civilizations that like to boom out of their mind if they can, up against Abbasid. That's a boomer civilization. Rus, that's the weakest civilization we've seen all day today.
Yeah.
So matchup wise, I think 3DEDA are in a really good spot.
And I'm wondering, is there a world in which we see Cat sliding on this one? Because Dabston, I know Cat has been very cozy on the Chinese. He loves his pro scouts builds. Then again, like Anatan, I feel he's almost undeniable. He is a brute when he comes to his Chinese builds.
Yeah, I feel like Cat, his map is Archipelago. They're like, look, he's coming in on Archipelago. Other than that, let's let B and Anatan keep running the table, especially after the momentum you were just talking about them having. They just went back to back. If it ain't broke, don't fix it now. Don't try to change up something. Let's just throw them back in there for another one. Get it going, get a strategy in place, and let's see if they can execute.
Now, what you just hit it perfectly there, right? When someone ain't broke, don't change it. Keep it working. We have 2 losses in a row now, Crackety, for Canada. Is it finally time? Do I hear the chants of Born in America? Do I hear Born in the USA playing in the background? Has Blade been summoned?
Oh my god! If Blade actually comes in here and we're getting a like Cat in as well, like that would be actually really, really interesting. It's already interesting enough that the last game of all games here is gonna be on Baldland
Yeah.
of all maps as well.
I mean, it's an interesting map, right, Dabston? Because I want to say that Baldland is not meant to be a map you can camp on, but we've already seen the Canadians in particular once today attempt that. It did not work well against the Chinese, but they still tried it.
Yeah, I mean, Baldlands is that map that it forces you out. It forces you in the middle. You can see it by the little mini map picture. It's like, look at the 2 giant wood lines in the center. There gets to a point where you have to take those if you get to this like middle castle age timing. But what I think instead of subbing Blade and Cat in, should have just made it a 3v3 for the final here. Just throw them all in there.
I mean, that would have been
Everybody
a
gets
freaking
to
curveball.
play.
Everyone takes to the field. They sub in 4-6. They sub in just make it a 4v4. Oh my god, that would be an incredible way to. And I wonder actually if people in the future, would you like to see more of those type of tournaments? I don't know about how you guys feel about this, but the mixed tournaments where it's like a 2v2 and then a 3v3 and then a 1v1, right? I think those would actually be maybe pretty cool to see in 2025.
A scenario where you get into sub in any player that you've beaten in before into your team.
Oh, so you just want
Oh.
musical chairs. No, I was talking like strategically you have a team and you shuffle. But you just went, nah, I literally want like soul capture, If you lose to me, you're now my piece, okay? Indentured servitude guaranteed.
I'm your manager.
Exactly. Imagine you start off with a 1v1 and it's like 8 players or like 16 players, and at the end you got a 4v4.
You know, like if we do get EGC to eventually do a LAN, I'm going to force that format, crackety, and then also leave EGC to deal with the lawsuits. Because what I'll have them do is all the players will have to dress up like Pokemon trainers and throw balls at the opponent when they beat them.
Oh my god. Just gotta make sure you don't throw them too hard.
I mean, you know you've been really lowly rated by the person who's captured you when they just write Bidoof on the Pokeball and move on. Oh, dude. I don't know. Who's your Bidoof, folks, in your friend group? This is the moment. Literally on the chat, you'll be part of it. By the way, reminder, it's still not too late to immortalize yourself. Point out that you subscribed in this pivotal moment. We're just a few minutes away from the final game. And if you did not see it earlier, we announced the upcoming circuit for 2025. That's right. We going big. We've got the EGC Masters coming up in early January. And of course, that is going to feed through into a beautiful, fluid chunk of events down the line. So we'll open up with EGC Masters Winter. Then we will have an Age of Mythology event. That's right. It's returning to EGC for the second, actually third time, technically. And then we'll move on to the Classic of Classic. The El Clasico has returned. Elite Classic for the third time. I've said Classic 3 times there intentionally. Now 4. Maybe there'll be a 4th eventually. EGC Masters Summer. And then, of course, depending on their performances, you'll get that kind of similar effect you saw for Red Bull Warlord Legacy, where people who, you know, topped in, for example, NAC and topped in Golden League ended up being invited through to a bigger event, and that will be happening down the line. So mark my words, EGC is working on a major event for the second half of the year. Fingers crossed we can maybe make it a LAN. I don't know, Crackety. Like, what do you think? How many subs to make it LAN?
At least 50. 50
This is
subs
why
for the Vegas Pesty Yacht LAN. Let's go.
This is why
Right
the German
now.
economy is a disaster. Oh, jeez.
Right now. Get the wallet out. Chat, I'm holding you hostage. Get the wallets out right now.
But this has to be those new Martian subs, you know, the ones that cost $5,000 each. We can get 50 of those. I don't even know what a Martian sub gets you. It actually just sounds like some weird sort of roll you get at your local Subway now that I say it out loud.
It doesn't get you anything. It just it sounds weird.
No, it gets you thumbs up and a pat on the back. Good job, champ. There you go. I mean, you know, it's the nature of it. I think we've had a lot of support for the community, and a really big shout out to you guys throughout 2024, actually. Not only on this channel and all the channels, you know, Age of Empires 4 is not League of Legends size. We don't have, you know, millions and millions of dollars to throw into a money blender that shoots green confetti out of our money. That's why people like, I just saw there, Johan Back come with the 10 gifted, like all these things, appreciate. So the Prime subs earlier. You guys are all incredible. 374 subs, by the way, on this channel. I know we've got some big ballers in the background. Hopefully we'll be seeing more of you and them in 2025. See, look, there's another one. PM303. This is what I do, Crackety. This is why they keep me on hosting. Like, I got 2 more minutes to
They
burn.
want the Pesty Yacht LAN.
Yeah, and it's like, you know what? We have to go full TikTok brain, right? When you get like a big donation, you go, thanks for the donation. And then you do like an anime dance or something like that, right? We're literally gonna turn you into the German version of NPC Miles Morales. That is your future. See, there you go. Take this one, Crackety. Go on, take that one.
Oh my god, anonymous gifter, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Alright, my cam's starting to lag. Too much movement.
What was that? That wasn't a Miles Morales. That was almost like what's the crappy DC character, the cyborg one?
I can't pull the Miles Morales off, man. I don't have the charisma.
I mean, I don't even know his lines. It'd be something like, hey, Vigo, thanks for the 5 subs. Guarding the streets. Anyway, time to stop guarding the streets and time to get into the skies. Bird's eye view here for game number 7. It's come down to this, a best of 1 barn burner to crown kings at the end of 2024. Winner Team Championship 2 is done after this game, but the effects will ripple through the month. Will it be Free DEDA? Will it be Canada? Let's get bold on Baldlands together and find out.
Oh, and bold we shall go onto the boldest of lands here. The final game in this series, the final game of this tournament. Team Canada, Team 3 DEDA B and Anatent up against Puppy Paw and Wham here in the Winter Team Championship #2. It's happening live right now. This is the best of 7 that we've all been waiting for. We went all the way to game number 7, and this is it. This is what we've all been waiting for.
Yeah, gotta give the people what they want, and 7 games indeed is what. There's only one extra game that we could have even had today. That is showing out for the viewers.
This is what it's all about. Puppy Paw on the Abbasid, Wham playing as the Roos here. Is that gonna be a double hunting cabin opening that we see? I see one hunting cabin. I don't see another one. And I actually do see Wham with the Roos move out to gold, of all things.
Wow, that is a surprise. That makes me think that he wants to stay on gold for a little bit longer. Maybe some eco upgrades earlier, maybe some knights out and about earlier on.
Yeah, early knights or pro scouts, anything is possible in this one. This is already like a weird opening, not something that we've seen a lot of so far. Behind this, second scout also came in for Wham. On the other hand side, we do have the typical, I want to call it, little bit less flexible no IO opening from B, playing as a Chinese. Anaton playing as the Mali behind it all, already has his pit mine fully kitted out.
Yeah, I mean, that's really one where Mali, we're used to this. The key is he going to get the second pit mine in a safe spot? Where is that second pit mine going to go? We've seen players, go build it around their teammates' gold. Well, B already has a house next to his mining camp. That's one less spot for those houses around the pit mine.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate. Imperial Academy now coming in. We're getting Military Wing from Puppy Paw, Golden Gate from Wham. Could this be an incredibly aggressive attack, play here coming out from the Canadians?
Nice old 26 gold hunting cabin to start off on there that we see from Wham.
Interesting situation already. Mansa Quarry now coming in from Anatant. All right, I'm a little bit confused as to what exactly the game plan idea is going to be here from the Canadian team, but I'm intrigued nonetheless. This is already a little bit of a different style than what we've usually seen coming out from the Roos and the Abbasid in these team tournaments so far.
Yeah, usually the Abbasid almost always is eco. It's like, hey, there's that much more map for you to cover. There's a teammate for me to help me out. So eco wing's that much easier to have it pay off. But instead, Puppy investing in the military, thinking that it's either gonna be needed, and he's already moving out on the stone. So I guess he just wants to make sure that second TC is gonna be in a nice and safe location, and we'll see if he decides to go for a third even.
Yeah, Anaton does manage to scout out that move out to stone. Looks like B managed to find the wing, so at least they know which wing it is and what the implications are from that. So they are going to have to make at least a couple of units in order to deal with that, or an outpost at the very least. Units preferably, though.
Yep. And now all of the feudal ages are finishing with the last military wing coming through. The only one that can't be rushed up, can't be quickened up with any extra villagers, 145, whether you like it or not.
Seeing some of the deer getting killed early on here. Not quite sure why that is. Might just want to make the TC placement a little bit more awkward. Professional Scouts is coming in from B here on the other hand side. So that's a very quick supervised Professional Scouts coming in from him. Wham, on the other hand side, he does have a lot of gold in the bank, and he is going for his own Professional Scouts play as well. He just used a lot of the gold. And Anaton just still killing some deer there.
Just doing what he wants to do.
At the cost of his scout, does manage to move away in time. That was close. Absolutely.
Dropping that mill next to the berries, but I'm sure that mill will mainly be used to start funneling some cows. And
Yeah.
it is the pit mine next to B's gold, so that house is going to be one less spot for Anaton to have.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate, but it's still a resource that you're getting in, right? So you can't complain too much. Scouts right now, they're a little bit annoying on the house, but this is only temporary. At one point, as soon as the upgrade comes in, Wham is going to want to go for the deer instead of the house there. We're now also seeing Wooden Fortress coming in there on that wood line. Is going to give you a nice boost, 20% additional wood income, wood drop-off that you're getting from your villagers on the wood line. House starting to burn up. Anaton might want to pull a villager to repair that. At the same time, Puppy Paws, 3 military school units, should be arriving soon.
Yeah, first 2 cows out and about and should be inside the cattle ranch here in a second. Meanwhile, a deer taking a nice little trip by.
First cow isn't inside. There we go. Does realize. Nice reaction there. Puts the cow inside of the cattle ranch. Wham. Gonna start off with the deer over behind the base from Anaton. So it's gonna just yoink 700 food there. For the time being. House is gonna go down here. And now the archer is gonna deny some of the gold income for the time being. Is there any move onto units right now? B is making some horsemen.
Anatan just slowly pulling back Vills as their health goes a little bit lower. Puppy Paw still trying to take out that scout of Anatan's and just might be calculated.
Absolutely. That guy knows math. Oh, calculated indeed. Not quite. Almost. Horsemen take down the archer. Still gonna be alive as well. B is gonna pull the villager back in time.
Just barely able to get away, but those wood lines, this is Baldlands, they're quite far out. B has a scout get to low health. So many units have gotten to low health and just such good micro, such good timing by all these players to pull them back at the efficient time.
Horseman able to survive, gets the pick off there. And now most of the early military school units have gone down. 1 spearman, 1 archer remaining. But now we're also getting into the point of the game where Wham is starting to invest it tonight. Second TC has come in. More Puppy Paw behind this. But the wood line for Anaton, it's going to be under fire now from a knight.
Yeah, and the big key for Anaton, oh, he's trying to rush down an outpost. Knight did not get a charge in, though. Oh, Anatan should have committed the first time instead. Second guesses himself, needs to cancel that now. And does indeed cancel it.
Does have enough resource for the time being, but this is going to be difficult now for him. He doesn't really have that much when it comes to wanting to go for production buildings.
Yeah, he needs a lot more wood when it comes to production buildings. That wood's been spent on cattle ranches, but boy, does he have a lot of cattle ranches already speak for himself.
Culture Wing, fast castle age now coming in from Puppy Paw behind this. He's going to be the first one to pull the trigger on the age up, even though he's already been on 2 TC. This is a very quick age up from him.
Yeah, 2 TC, fast castle. He's clicked it before 8:30. Meanwhile, Anatan, he's sitting at a nice and clean 15 cows.
Yeah, an age up just around the corner for him as well. So food income is going to be quite nice here for him. Spearmen are going to help him when it comes to making sure that he will have access over to wood as well. Spearmen coming in, getting a couple of nice hits there on the Knights. Pro Scout still going on behind this as well.
And B just making more and more and more units. Grand Filani idled out for the time being. Wham spots out the age up, though, coming through. And Anatan has been able to secure up a wood line next to B's base.
Inside of B's base. And Wham behind this also. He's getting really close to aging up himself with the roost now. There it is. That's the Wham wall that we've been waiting for.
Yeah. And not only that, Puppy is following suit, going to head and building up some walls on the outskirts as well.
Archer range going up as well. I mean, he already has the military wing, so these archers, you can easily get composite bows, and then spamming out archers is going to be quite good for the Abbasid here.
Yep. New age begins, though. Anatan first one up. Wham Puppy Paw not too far behind it with that culture wing, as we just hear it finish now. And this is when things start to get scary. High trade house in the center, very aggressive point. And B had some units over that way, sending some more units over that way. If this gets scouted, that is very dangerous.
Yeah, definitely is. And he is kind of moving towards that position. Not quite, though. He doesn't know that it's going up over there.
He has no idea. There's some other units probably trying to deny the wall up on that top side. B sending some resources over to Anatan. Wall does get denied.
Anatan, he is going into mass sofa play here. That's pretty good against the massive archers, but oh, you have to be careful, B. Oh, he's gonna lose these spearmen.
Wham's High Trade House, though. The
Is it
units
getting
are so
sorted out?
close. No, they
They are
ran past
close.
it.
He doesn't know yet. He doesn't see it still. Oh
This
my
is
god,
so
it's so
close.
close.
This could have just been a game ender, but instead, B just
It's
barely
so close.
doesn't have the vision for it.
Incredibly close here. It's up a hill. That's why the vision gets reduced in that range as well.
And High Trade House finishes. Immediately Wham knows too. He wants a wooden fortress there, defend up this location. It's going to be a nice spot. Huge wood line, main wood line on the map. Has an 8k gold right there, and will start to create some food out of nowhere.
Yeah, age up just around the corner for B behind all of this as well, though. So he will be aging up soon as well.
I love the sofa swap too. Getting imported armor, and you're able to support so many sofa. It really makes it hard if your opponent takes one single bad fight. They just start getting overrun.
Horseman manages to find some villagers that are trying to wall up again. Sofa finding them as well.
Yeah, there's a boar over there they could pull, and villagers will have to evacuate that location, as he knows that the sofa are on the way, as he's following those with his night mass.
233 gold per minute. Just 3 relics worth of income there from that high trade house.
Not a big deal, you know?
Fine. It's no biggie. Knights, though, are gonna get the charge off there. And they did see those sofas going into the fog of war there, into the stealth forests. Sofas are a good bit quicker than knights, though, so you can always just run away.
And you can see that's exactly what's starting to happen. But Puppy Paw is starting to mass his group in the middle of the map near the sacred site and starting to push forward. It's not just archers. He's starting to mix crossbows into the mix as well.
And B, it's mostly just spearmen from him at the moment. Good against the knights, not so good against this big mass of archers, especially with composite bows in as well.
Yep. Nested Bees, though, out. We'll need maybe a few more to really be a difference in these fights. Sofa, though, finally maybe able to connect on some eco after making a long trek, a long circle.
Not quite able to kill any economy yet, but is able to cause some idle time there for sure. He needs to be so careful here with those spears. Definitely don't want to lose them now.
Archers trying to step up, snipe down some of those spears, not allow the Nested Bees to get into position. Sofa diving in onto the base of Puppy Paw. They are not the easiest unit to clean up.
Yeah, definitely not. Spearmen not getting the brace in there, but are able to protect that nest of bees. Second one is now coming in.
Yeah, instead of like doing a spear wall, instead they just like dove in front of the knights. They're like, I got you, I'll save you. It's like, that wasn't good.
Relics coming in for Anatan behind all of this as well. He got another pit mine up on the large gold vein there. Ram is getting taken down, but now Mangonel comes in as well. B gets... Oh no, that's devastating. Losing those spearmen now.
Oh my!
And immediately when that
so
happens,
many
the knights are
spears.
moving in.
That was so many spears that he just lost, and now the Nested Bees are going to be so much harder to protect. Doesn't really have that frontline spear mass. Sofa count, though, is very healthy, up at 22, but you can say the same thing for Wham and Knights. Exactly.
And the question is, what is B really like doing right now? There's only bees coming in, the nest of bees, but that doesn't feel like good enough of an army composition. Oh, and it's going down immediately. Oh, how did that even connect?
I have no idea, but one nest of bees ends up falling. Sofa trying to do raiding, but will be cleaned up. Really feels like Puppy Paw and Wham are just slowly eking out this lead. Obviously, the eco count doesn't tell the full story because Anatan's cows, but the military count does tell the full story.
Yeah, this is starting to get rougher and rougher now. Cattle are starting to move out of that cattle ranch. Is going to be able to keep them alive for the time being.
And yet again, we see cows getting sieged down. It is not a Manganique this time, just a Mangonel. But that is really what just starts devastating the Mali eco. It's not villager loss. It's all about the cow boom.
Villager actually repairing the cattle ranch there.
Nest of Bees being the counter siege unit as well. Did about half health to the Mangonel. Knights assigned to take the dive, take the fight. Spearmen are here. There's crossbows and archers on the backside from Puppy Paw. Puppy has more units than Bee and Anatan combined.
Yeah, it's a lot of archers with the composite bows upgrade as well. They just work so well into this army right now. And we're at 116 to 72 military. Granted, we got a lot of sofas. It just doesn't feel like it's quite enough.
No, not at all. You'd really expect that sofa number to be much higher at this. Well, either the sofa number or the Chinese spear number on the other side to be a little bit higher, but just not able to climb as high as they'd like to. Sofa, though, about to be at 50 here in a little bit. Knight mass being split off, trying to do some raiding, idling out the granaries that are just now being transitioned.
Yeah, speaking of granaries, that's something where you need a lot of wood for, and Woodline from B gets dove on right now behind all of this. We've got some long marching villagers there as well. That's a lot of idle time that B has to suffer through right now. Behind this, Puppy Paw, he's just gonna mass up more and more units. He's getting close to pop cap now.
Exactly, and that is really when everything starts to unlock. You can either start saving up, you can get some of the technology you maybe felt like were a little bit greedy and not prioritizing. Sofa, though, they're closing the gap. Great circle, great surround on 5-6 knights right there.
Yeah, gets a good pick off there. Right now, he's got a good mass of sofas in comparison to the knights. 55 sofas to 40 knights. That's where he's starting to get a good advantage in when it comes to these fights as well. Oh,
Villagers trying to rush up a wall. Raid still happening on the backside. Nest of Bees stepping on forward, rolling on forward. Keep already on the other woodline. The big problem for Team 3 DEDA is the middle woodlines are both secured by Puppy Paw and Wham.
Knight's about to find the gold there at the bottom side from Anatan. Looks like he's got a defensive building there, though. Yeah, Keep is able to keep that secure. Nicely predicted by Anatan, having that keep up in time.
Yeah, and actually, they're at the point where they've kind of dug in their heels. They're stalling out this game the best they can, but the longer this goes, the more they will need to move out to those middle woodlines.
That's not your ally. You don't want to be walking with them. Oh, they might just start to burn down some cattle ranches now. The military is in. Might be a little bit too overzealous, though. Nest of Bees are approaching now. 6 Nest of Bees in total. Clock Tower Nest of Bees at that. Has a very large army.
44 spears to protect up those nested bees as well. Those knights cannot dive on those because then the spears just surround them.
Spears definitely don't want to take the fight solo, though.
A few of them thinking that they maybe thinking they have some javelins and can throw them into those archers, but not working out the way they wanted. Sofa circling, going into the knights. Wham says, all right, I'll take this fight. A few more Sofa are able to circle around and some knights on the back end running on out, and Wham's knight number, I feel like, has not climbed at all in the past couple minutes.
Yeah, meanwhile, Anatan up to 77 Sofas now. This is an insanely big military from him. Maybe Wham, he's running out of steam. He's adding in a second TC now.
Yeah, he should just ask Puppy for some resources, as Puppy is max pop and might be thinking imp soon.
This is just so much posturing right now from both of these players against each other. This is kind of crazy. Is there a move out onto the keep now? I think they're moving onto the keep. Did they see that B moved out over there as well? There's too many villagers. Yeah, they're gonna have to get pulled. Oh no, the wall. He deleted the wall.
Rebuild it.
Rebuild it.
Oh, he's
okay.
all right.
Sacrifices
Peace out.
needed to be made. I mean, with the wall, you can always just
Wait, they ended up getting out too.
Oh, that's incredible. Oh,
Sofa
maybe they don't get
using
out.
their move speed too to close the gap. Spear's trying to circle back around. The nest of bees are going to be nowhere close. They're too slow, and now the crossbows are helping support the knights against the sofa. Wham and Puppy taking a decent fight, and behind this, Puppy, he's going up with the trade wing.
Indeed he is. Trade wing about to be coming in. That's not enough spearmen, I feel like, to protect against this many knights. But Sofa do manage to reunite. Oh, they need to take a fight soon. Once that trade wing finishes up. Puppy Paw, if he gets the elite upgrades in, these archers are gonna be devastating, not just against the spearmen, but also against the knights.
And he's kept that. He's every single game. I feel like Puppy's just had such good military posturing. He's kept his army positioning so, like his army alive so well with his positioning, with his scouting, and just reacting. And that's where, again, he has this huge range mass. He's able to hit Imp. He's going to be able to get some upgrades.
And there is one big fight that is just begging to happen any time now, any moment soon. And I feel like we're about to be seeing it. Anton can't leave his ally alone there, not even for a moment. Lots of villagers need to move back. They're getting found out here.
A good body block by the warrior scout, making sure there is no re-wall allowed, at least for the time being. Spear's trying to close the gap. Villagers, they need to build that wall, and they can't. Puppy Paw and Wham both going to just attack this location together. And range, they're happy to fight in this choke point and can't get on top of that range.
Siege just always lagging a little bit too far behind, and now Imperial Age has come in for Puppy Paw. No trade out yet, so no real place to trade to with a trade wing. But it's only a matter of time for that to come in.
Felt like being Anatan were at such a bad positioning point, but they were able, like we said, dig in the heels, hold that positioning point. They have a big army mass. They have that siege mass, which can always turn games, can always change the games, but they need to secure a wood line for themselves and the next goal.
The question is, can they achieve that here? Spearmen are in. The knights are in. Knights will have to go back now that the spearmen arrive.
Some palace guards trying to be a nuisance as that front line. Sofa circling around with a smaller group that Puppy Paw had split off, maybe trying to do some raiding. And Anatan taking a really good cleanup fight there, but Puppy's got plenty of resources to lose. He might as well just send Imp over to Wham. Wham has 1,400 gold in the bank. He just needs the food, and Puppy's floating a ton of food right now.
Yeah, that's definitely a play that they could go for. We're now also seeing a lot of Spring Oats fight going on. What are the knights killing there? Fighting against the spears. Nest of bees. Getting some good shots in, but there are no spearmen remaining. The spearmen are all dead. Only 10 left alive.
The Sofa, though, are still very numerous. 77 Sofa on that front side. Nest of bees and Springolds just peppering everything they can from the backside.
Doing a good amount of damage here, but is it going to be enough? Sofa count, I feel like it's starting to mellow out now a little bit. Veterancy, well, not veterancy, elite upgrade has come in on the archers. Elite already in on the spearmen as well. And elite spearmen just do so much more here on the side for Puppy Paw, especially with the phalanx upgrade. Granted, knights now, there aren't that many of them remaining, but I feel like there's no real transition right now for B or Anatan into Imperial Age. We gotta take a look at the relic situation behind all of this as well, as villager count isn't like that far apart, I want to say, considering that there are like cattle going in as well. But the majority is over on the side of Wham.
Yeah, I mean, both B and Anatan have 0 vills on gold. The longer this goes, the longer this keeps extending, especially with Imperial Age. Imp upgrades start coming through further and further for Puppy, and there's just going to be severely outclassed on the side of 3 DEDA, but another 4K gold secured for the time being.
Now it looks like H-Up is going to be coming in for Wham, as Puppy Paw did sling over 1,500 food there for his ally.
Mangonel trying to trade out into the other siege. It's funny, watch these Springles try to take out the Mangonel.
Yeah, that's not happening.
That is, they are not in the old counter siege Springles. Nest of Bees, though, decent AoE fire into that spear mass that was stepping up forward. Sofa being the defenders of the siege, and this Mangonel immediately gets taken out from the Canadian bros.
Yeah, B can't push too far out. Now Fort of the Huntress is coming in for Anaton, so Imperial Age is going to be coming in for the Malians. A lot of passive gold at the moment for them. It looks like there is also trade going on right now behind all of this. It is to an allied market, so it's not like that great of a trade. But still, you make do with it.
Yeah, it's nice, like, you're giving up a little bit knowing that you don't have, you know, obviously there's no neutral market here, but knowing that you're not trading to a neutral market, but you're giving yourself a nice, safe, super long and efficient route in that way.
Yeah. Knights up against Sofas. There are not that many Sofas remaining. The Saint's Blessing coming in as well. Are they going to be able to win this fight? I'm wondering. It looks like at the moment they are able to win this engagement. Wham is pulling back those Knights as he does want to get the upgrades in on them. Puppy Paw now also getting elite army tactics. The bonus damage that the Spearmen are going to do to the cavalry with that upgrade is going to be pretty immense.
Now B only one sitting outside of Imperial Age. He spent all his resources on that siege, on that Spearman mass to try to defend the siege, and it might be a little bit out of position here. Puppy and Wham closing the gap. Sofa trying to circle. Sofa trying to help on out. Spearmen are there ready and waiting though, and it looks like Puppy and Wham are taking this fight. Is this finally going to be the one they needed? Nesta B still on the backside, sitting in choke points, sitting protected, nice and fine.
Sofa count though down in the 30s now. We have more Knights out on the field now than Sofas. Addington doesn't have the gold to keep up with the Sofa production, now has to switch into mass Warrior Scouts, and that just doesn't feel good here as the Knights now elite upgrade have come in. This is not a fight that you can sustainably win.
They're still trying to take the fight. They still have the Nest of Bees. A ton of the units for the Canadian bros are low health, but are they low health enough for this to matter? Knights circle back around. Knights dive the front side. Another Mangonel comes up in support. Springles siege. It's doing everything that they can, but it doesn't look like it's enough. The Canadian bros are pushing. The Canadian bros want to end this now.
And just like that, the entire army from the 3 DEDA's gone. After what felt like an eternity of units, army just posturing up against each other. GG comes in, and it's going to be Team Canada that is going to win the Winter Team Championship 2 here on EGC TV.
Blade has done it. Blade has done it all.
Blade, he pulled it through. Victory for Team Canada thanks to Blade.
What a crazy series, going the distance, and that was not an easy game for Wham and Puppy to finish on out. At any point in time, going up against that much siege, you could just take a fight that loses you the game. Instead, you can see the graph. It was the exact opposite. We're able to take it at the exact timing they needed, closed it out, had too much onslaught to follow, and were able to win the series and take the Winter Team Championship too.
Man, what a sad. At the beginning, it kind of felt like Team Canada had a clear edge, but then 3 DEDA from the top rope, they came back into the set with one win after another. But in the last one, what a game as well. So much posturing there with the military. We went up to 80 Sofa in this game, but Team Canada able to bide their time and just wait for the right moment to come in and able to take the victory here, 4-3.
Statement made. A statement made by the upcomers, Puppy Paw and Wham on the rise from the very beginning of 2024. But even with that in mind, B making it to a grand finals, and Anatan, I think, has also been the rising star actually this year. We expected a lot from Puppy Paw and Wham, but so many players now starting to make an appearance, lads, and prove their capabilities. I mean, this series really was trial tribulation and raw stamina at the end of the day. I mean, you could see it in that final game, Dabston. The weariness, the tension was palpable.
Yeah, and that's one of those. It's like during those fights, like the Crackety's talking about posturing. It's like you got to be so nervous. It's like, do we take this? No, 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 not yet. Do we take? All right, go. And finally, they're like, all right, go, 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 go. We're taking this all in the base, 100+ units on either side, and just able to take the victory.
And a statement as well for the Canadians. In particular, I'd say maybe Puppy Paw here, Crackety. S tier events so far, 2 of the previous 3, he was runner-up. Now, without Marine Lord even actually being runner-up, he's able to claim a title for himself. I mean, it's kind of crazy, right? I think it's what he's been in dream of, because we have to remember, funnily enough, actually, when you think about it that way, 3 of the competitors in this grand finals, well, 4, of course, played as well, really started to strive and aspire to be pros in Age of Empires 4.
Yeah, that is where they had their big like moment. That's when they started to like really appear, when they started to get noticed. And Puppy Paw, he's been there for a while, like grinding out these tournaments and getting better and better results as time goes on. And in this year especially, like he's been really showing off his improvements. And yeah, just overall, this is the year of Puppy Paw, I want to say, for him, like his legacy, how he's able to just keep on winning in these tournaments, but not just for him. Anaton as well, absolute mad lad on the rise, not just on the ladder, but in the tournament scene as well.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like Dabston, if NA esports wasn't such a quagmire when it comes to teams, we'd actually already see them with a team tag as well. Because it's actually crazy to think that Puppy Paw and Wham still haven't found an org to sign with at this point.
Yeah, I know. We've been seeing a few more, names, whether it's swapping around teams or sign with different organizations. But maybe they're just biding the time, making sure that they sign with the correct and right organization that they want to.
They're looking for the NA royalty esports maneuver. A solid idea if they can actually try to replicate what, of course, Marine Lord done with 2024 in the 1v1 tournaments. And honestly, at this stage, Crackety, I think Puppy Paw and Wham are there, right? We have to remember, although Wham might not appear when you look at the Wikipedia page and see the top 2 competitors, he's been there at the top. And now they're proving that they can actually compete with the absolute best that exist in AoE4, both in 2v2s and 1v1s.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, no big surprise that Puppy Paw and Wham are absolute beasts in team games as well. I gotta say, like, this tournament overall, it just showed us so many great combinations of players just coming together as a team and putting on an absolute show here. Cosmos K. Passan coming in there as well with Vortex and Lucifron. We had the Chimps, Beastie, Marine Lord, the Royal Couple of the North. We had we had Demu and Kiljani together. Just so many amazing teams, and this has been an amazing tournament all throughout.
And I think it delivered, even in this game, Dabs. I mean, I felt watching this game, it wasn't a wash, it wasn't a stomp, despite how it ended. The reality was, I think it'd be fair to say neither team played perfect, which I love. I love that. I felt like there were moments where maybe Anatan and B hesitate, they didn't quite make the right move in a fight, but then simultaneously Wham and Puppy Paw were the same. It shows you how high the stakes are, that people that we're praising as the absolute best are still capable of not just playing that perfect game.
Yeah, it's one of those that, like, obviously us as casters and viewers we're blessed with that God vision. It's hard to know what decisions to make at these times, and so yeah, there's plenty of times where, oh, they should have done this, they should have. It's hard to know in the situation, the heat of the moment, with the limited information that they have that's based off of their scouting and what they're looking at on their computer screen. So unbelievable job to end up kind of closing out the series, and unbelievable job from DEDA to end up making the series as long and as close as it could have been.
Yeah, I mean, these moments here, the Nesta Bs, I was getting flashbacks. I'm sure these boys had PTSDs. There's something about B when he starts scaling his Nesta Bs, right, Crackety? I mean, it's almost like he sees that there's a unit named after him in the game and feels obliged to spam them.
Yeah, Nest of Bees are definitely like one of these opportunity units where if you get them out, like it feels like a little bit of a gamble. Sometimes the RNG on these shots is so crazy wild. Sometimes you get like these volleys off and they don't do any damage. Then other times you get like two Nest of Bees and they're able to eradicate an entire back line. You never quite know what you're gonna get with them. One thing is for certain though, them in choke points, just similar to Mangonels, they can definitely pull off wonders there.
And quite the wonder coming in for NA. What a year it has been, and a beautiful feeling as well, Dabston, because we've been hyping them up, talking about them for the last few minutes. Wham and Puppy Paws rise, but I think also, what we saw is the presence and capability of Louis and CSO for the Chinese region, right? I mean, they got slayed by now the champions. The fact that we're actually seeing more than just the Europeans, right? Because I think it's fair to say, historically, Age of Empires across multiple iterations has been predominantly a European dominated esports.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that, but it's good to see some other countries, some other continents get on the uprise over here, especially one that I'm part of, Team NA over here. Obviously, got to meet Wham and Puppy in person at the little NA land we had. Got 'em singing some karaoke even.
Oh yeah, they're a little bit shy when you get them out of their shell. They are an absolute joy. So big congratulations once again to Wham, Puppy Paw, and of course their #1 cheerleader. They couldn't have done it without Blade. There, clearly providing the morale booster throughout all. It is a combined effort. Canada and America, the intertwined alliance. But you know what? The reason I mention all these other regions, folks, is because of everything coming ahead of us. 2025 has so many more Age of Empires 4 events. And you watching the crowd, I want you to start participating. I know Chum in the background is ripping his hair off at the idea of having even more people in a bracket, but realistically, look at this. When a game is dominated by one region, you lose an ability to care. You know it's not going to be your region. You know there's not going to be a capability for someone to come out of nowhere. Look at what's happened in other scenes where all of a sudden Oliveira comes to mind. That was an insane story that inspired a whole new generation. Take that inspiration, whether you're in the NA region, even South America, any type of America, or you're over in Asia. This is your time to rise. There is now players at the absolute top level that you could be grinding against, that you could be participating against, and who knows where you could find yourself. I think that is actually at the heart of esports. Something that worked so well in the early days is everyone wanted to be involved. So do not shy away from signing up. There will be plenty of EGC events. Reminder one more time, we shoot the graphic. I think we can get it up one more time because it needs to be really embedded in your brains. Mark those dates. EGC will be back in 2025. In the first half of the year alone, 4 times, and still more events for the second half. So I want to see you all signing up. I want to see you all tuning in because Age of Empires 4 has got a big year, remember. Expansion somewhere on the horizon. This many tournaments. This is the place to be. And hopefully you'll be there with us in January to kick off the year in style. But boys, it's been an absolute pleasure. You slammed it on the cast. It's been a very long day. We're not going to interview the lads. We're going to let them rest up because it has been a long, bloody day. So thank you to everyone watching, everyone in the community. I think Crackety says so many times at this stage, we couldn't do it without you. These events happen because you guys tune in. So keep doing so. And EGC is not going anywhere. So I'll see you in 2025. You have a good holidays. You rest up because in early January, it's back to 1v1s. And then we'll see who the real champions are.